welcome to Off the Rails, live and direct from the house of Matt, where we are in the house of Matt.
It's his house.
He ain't even here. He don't even know we here. We're just in his home. This is home invasion. I don't even think. Hey, man, I didn't know you was here, man.
What's up, Matt?
Oh, hey.
What?
Hey. Oh, we wasn't secretly filming projects in your house without your permission.
Oh, well, that's cool if y'all was. I mean, you know.
What is that?
This goes out. This is a shot that goes out to everybody to cook with bacon grease.
Oh.
All right.
The more you know. Facts. With us today is myself, Chris Panda. I eat sandwiches. That's my fun fact for the day.
Oh.
Foxy Steve.
Welcome to the show where the pants are dropping and the anal ain't stopping.
Oh boy.
Is that not the tagline?
This is gonna be one of those shows.
Is that not the tagline?
It's always one of those
What
shows.
is it? Put it in your mouth and take a sip.
But he
Oh god.
That's a hidden gem that nobody knows of.
I think it should stay that way.
Oh no.
End my suffering.
And we have the bird god.
Don't work yourself into a work, brother, because you'll work yourself into a shoot, brother, mark, working, brother, stupid jabroni, mark, brother.
work all four sides, brother.
Brother.
Gotta work that hard cam, brother. Gotta keep
I
it.
love all people except those.
I'm a straight shooter,
Except
kayfabe.
those people.
Uh-oh, wait a minute.
We have with us Matt.
If you don't stand for something, I don't care. I don't know you.
Oh.
Simply Man Davey.
What's up, guys? My mother did not hit, and instead she took us down by the lake and threatened to kill us.
Oh, shit.
Wait a minute. What the fuck just happened? Guaranteed to make you act right.
Oh my good lord. I was not expecting that dark turn.
That went south so fast.
Oh, boy.
And as always, fragrant and ever wet.
The moist one himself.
P Crazy.
Shazam!
I didn't know Shazam got wet.
He does today.
What is happening over there? That is so distracting. I'm so interested in what's happening on the screen. Fucking.
He's been
Like an unborn baby on his arm?
He's been fighting that thing on his arm.
Matt
It is an
has,
unborn baby. Oh, God.
since you
Looks
folks,
like a boogeyman.
It's an unborn baby covered in tar.
since you folks at home can't see this, Matt has a random ass episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure happening, and I've never seen the show, so I'm looking at this crazy fucking scene.
It's like
Here comes
a...
all of our hate mail. I've never seen JoJo. You've never seen JoJo. Clickety, 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 clickety. That's my sound of keys hitting. Clickety, clickety.
looks like a fetus of a Green Goblin covered in tar on his arm or something.
It's like, what was the name of that movie? It was an old
Jam and
movie
Earl?
like that was back in the like late 80s or early 90s, and it was Basket Case.
Oh.
Oh, I was sort of going to guess Ferris Bueller's
You
Day
know
Off.
what's messed
Oh.
up? Is
I was gonna guess Hancock.
I was gonna say Hancock because that's my shtick. But
Great movie.
I was definitely like, it's probably Basket Case with that weird fucking thing that they put in
That
the basket
weird
that
thing.
jumped out. Oh my god, I think it was Basket Case 3. They put it in a basket.
Oh,
and
right.
then, he was like, and
no.
the thing jumped out the basket and snapped the dude's neck in half. And he like twisted his whole head around, but since it was like cheap effects, all they did was put a fucking mask on his head over the back of his head, and he was just like shaking. And it's like one of the cheesiest looking death scenes.
They put a wig over his
So
face.
confused.
Oh my-
It's a terrible
I'm
fucking
gonna
movie.
show
It
you.
is. You have to see part 2 where they have a
What's
baby.
it called? You said Basket Case?
Yes,
Basket
Basket Case.
Case.
What's Basket Case again?
So
That's a
he
terrible
had,
film.
so it was this guy that had a twin or a brother, and it was in his side, but he had it covered up with a basket,
Ah, okay.
like a picnic basket,
Which is weird.
and then it started getting out, and it was killing people, and it was the weirdest damn movie.
While he was attached to him?
While he was attached to him and everything,
That
and
sounds
then
like
it got
some shit from the 80s.
And then it got to the point where he like tried to, cut it off, and I can't remember it because I was too damn young to be watching that movie at the time anyway. But yeah, oh my god, wow,
That sounds like something out of the 80s.
Basket Case is hella weird.
it really was.
There's another movie that I want to watch, but I never remember the name of it. I just know that if I go on YouTube and search basketball death scene, I'm always gonna.
The and throw a basketball through her face and her head explodes.
And then falls over like gingerly. And
Why?
it's like,
Why does that sound familiar?
It's
Like I've seen
it's
that.
like Best Friend or something like
Or
that. It's
I
something-
feel like I've seen that before too.
Yes, because Alan showed you this clip a million times because it's hilarious.
Yeah, Alan did show me that.
Because Alan has special taste with his special eyes.
Well,
My
folks.
brain.
Man.
Well, folks, we are. If we sound delirious, it's been a very big day for us.
We were watching Eddie Murphy.
I wish.
There's nothing big about that at all.
But we were delirious.
We did. We watched Haunted Mansion 3 times.
Oh, kill me. That.
With a dash of Pluto Nash for dessert.
Oh, fucking
Pluto Nash.
With a hint
Steve
of
loves
I
that movie.
Spy.
That's my favorite.
And everybody's classic gem, Norbert. Or Norbit?
Norbit.
Norbit. I went to the movies to see
Fuchsia.
You went to the film.
Why would
theater?
you admit that?
I
think-
was
I think
17.
you did too. Didn't you? To see
Shut up,
Norbit?
Steve.
Yes, I did.
Stop it.
God,
Oh, God.
that movie was bad. I just remember.
And he won't
How
brush
you
it.
doing?
Yeah.
How? You're doing.
You know, at the time, I kind of didn't have a choice to go.
Yeah, he was trying to see some boob.
What?
You was trying to see boobage?
Not in the movie. Hell no.
Oh.
I've seen movies in the movies.
I haven't seen
I'm
boobage
talking
in
about
the
for
movie
that
since-
particular movie.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Man, shut your dumb ass up, fuck you.
Damn.
Whoa.
Hey, you the
That
ones
escalated quickly.
that...
The hate crime in the house.
Hate crime in the house.
Hey.
Welcome
Hey.
to Yo MTV Murder Your Family.
Special guest, Suge Knight.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Let's dial it back a little bit
With your
now.
host Will Smith and DJ Jazzy J.
Oh, okay.
With returning champion Tupac.
Tupac.
I wasn't aware. I need to go get the hologram.
Digging him out the grave.
No, it's
now?
just actual Tupac.
Tupac.
No hologram needed.
Oh.
He's crip walking because it's Halloween time.
So, people, we're angry today. Okay. I'm mad, Chris.
What transition is that? Oh man, I'm angry.
I'm pissed off.
You know what chaps my ass?
You know what really frosts my ass? A popsicle about that high and unfinished games.
I'm glad y'all can't see how that popsicle was.
I don't understand.
Did you say unfinished gaze?
Games. What? No.
You gonna make me piss myself? It's like unfinished game.
What's unfinished about them?
Bisexual.
I want to know what that is.
Should we go into the detail on why they're unfinished?
No.
Unicorn is weird.
What?
Depends on what you watch, because all I watch
Chick,
is lesbian.
look,
which is
chick,
great.
chicks
I'm talking
with
about
dicks
dick
is
and butt.
nothing but a
Oh, I
man
don't watch
with
that
titties.
I swear.
I don't watch it, but I scroll past it because sometimes ads are on the sites.
So, man, Power Rangers Mystic Force. Man, that was a great show, right?
Yeah, it's a show. But like I'm saying, it's the best.
Wouldn't unfinished gaze just be like you go to the gay section of Pornhub and it's just guys getting stroked off and they're just perpetually edged?
It's the worst thing on the planet.
Oh, it's like trying to pre. It's like you're gonna pre, but
Who wants to watch that?
We're
But
tapping.
I want to see full on. Let's get this going. You know what I'm saying?
We're tapping into territory that I'm not sure I want to step in.
Oh, already. I've been well.
I second that.
look, I don't want to get into it, but I'm just gonna say one thing,
No.
and that's it. When I scrolled past Pornhub and I was like, "There's an ad. What is that ad for?" And I see men trying to do full blown spits with a dick in their ass, and I'm like, "Oh hell no!"
Wait, splits?
They're like fucking trying to do the flying V with
Oh,
a dick in their butt.
my
Yes,
God.
Ducks with
I
the
can't. I
kids.
can't.
With the kids, Morty.
I can't say that I've seen that.
Speaking of-
Okay, you a goddamn lie.
Wait, no.
Everybody has seen Mighty
Damn.
Ducks.
No, not my ducks. The split dick thing.
Oh, okay.
No, speaking of
Remember
porn,
Keenan Thompson? He was in the second one.
The
Oh,
split dick
God.
thing? Oh my!
Get off of that. Stop. Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
Look, we keep promoting Pornhub
Oh.
through this and everything.
I
They
know,
need to
when are we gonna get sponsored?
we need some subscriptions or something
That was
because
our first sponsor.
David, can you grab me a cold beer out of the fridge, please?
no. Here's the sad part on Pornhub. You know them scenes that they show the videos at the bottom. Some of those look good. I don't want to pay for Brazers. So.
No, I don't need an
You said
HD.
razors? I thought it was pronounced brazzers.
I think it's Brazzers.
Why do we
Right,
always go
right.
back to
We
porn?
all-
How
I
do we
don't give a
happen?
fuck what it's pronounced. It's not Power Rangers Mystic Force.
But
Are you
Power Rangers
just
Force
excited
ain't
because you
It's
played
Power
that
Rangers
Power Ranger
Mystic,
game
fuck,
just
you
a
know.
minute ago?
No, I'm just trying to get away from the subject.
Like, so no, well, actually,
That's how they
Bird,
won the championship.
Bird, what would you like? Did
Have
you?
you never? How do you?
You
not
see what you
remember
started,
this
Bert? You
film?
see this?
No, I
It's
was,
your fault.
no, I was gonna ask Bird what he wanted to
Bird,
talk.
have you ever seen the Mighty Ducks?
No.
Emilio Estevez, man,
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
that was the first time I ever heard "We Are the Champions" from Queen. Was in the Mighty Ducks.
Dude, I love that movie and the second
You've
one.
never seen
Not
Mighty Ducks?
anything.
Did you
past-
take
No,
those
like
out the
D3
freezer?
is terrible.
Take them all out before that freezes and explodes.
Oh, they're in the freezer.
Why?
Yes.
Ooh.
Why is it so offensive
This was.
that I've never seen a movie before? I
It's
thought
not
we
offensive.
were friends.
It's not offensive. I'm just shocked because
I
it's a,
thought we were friends. You know I don't watch movies.
but it's a
Bird is
child-
so
it's a
tired.
it's a child's movie. That's why I thought
Probably never seen it.
you. Oh,
All the more reason. Oh my god.
I thought you would have seen it as a kid.
I didn't watch movies as a kid.
Oh, so you didn't watch Homeward Bound?
Did you know Emilio Estevez is the son of Martin
Who
Sheen?
the fuck is that?
Yes,
You know
it
who Martin
is.
Sheen is?
Martin Sheen.
You know who Charlie
I
Sheen
know who
is?
Charlie Sheen is.
Charlie Sheen
Tiger
is the
Blood.
son of Martin Sheen. And Emilio Estevez is the son of
He
Martin
kept
Sheen.
the family name.
brothers.
Also, did you know that Michael Keaton's name is actually Michael Douglas? But since Michael Douglas was already using that name as an actor, Michael Keaton had to change his name to Michael Keaton from Michael Douglas.
I was gonna point something out to you. I know you was talking about all this table tapping. Then you gonna sit the beer right next to the microphone.
Oh yeah, I just noticed I did that too.
If anybody gets like
Simply
their eardrums
mandated.
explode by the recent
Simply
tapping
mandated.
of the beer on the table,
Oh, it's so
simply
cold.
mandated.
I try to
you
sit
know
them as
that?
quietly as possible.
Oh,
You
well,
can hate
you,
on
you
it
can do that
at
away from the
hashtag
mic would be
fuck
great.
Davey.
Hashtag fuck Davey. Hashtag where you been at?
Word.
Just a straight
Hashtag
shit kind of
mandated.
guy. Do my works day and night.
Tolo, talo, ho, ho, ho.
Hit my arm drag arm bar.
Where did we
Don't
end
do
up?
it.
Hop in the car to
Where
the
are
next
we?
town.
We're on off the rails here. We're always never on the track.
Well,
Chris, the rails didn't exist when this started.
It started-
Listen,
Harold,
we're-
where we're going, we don't need rail.
We're on Astro Train, the triple changing
I-
transformer.
I need to know.
Astro Train.
He was a space shuttle.
off.
I know what you're talking about.
It was fucking sweet, man.
Oh no, Harold would have appreciated that time that I actually had to call. We couldn't think of a Transformers name. I called my mother to get the the extra Transformers
Yes,
name, and
mine
she
was
knew,
awesome.
and she knew it.
Oh, we gonna let him speak.
Yeah, go ahead,
That's
Bert.
great.
What would you like to?
No, it's fine. I just wanted to know if, in the realm of current year, would I appreciate the Mighty Ducks? Because you know.
Okay, for me, I watched the first and the second one like a few months ago.
Oh,
I love those films. I watched those and Heavyweights.
Heavyweights is
I love
timeless.
Heavyweights.
I forgot about
all three of
Heavyweights.
those are really entertaining, and I was like, I'm enthralled.
You gotta be real
So-
dedicated to be so fat to hollow out a tree for candy.
They were really fat. I don't think they're like gems by any mean, but they have this certain sort of charm to them that's like, huh.
He's got the nostalgia glasses on.
And
I
yeah,
was
the
just gonna say
nostalgia
that.
glasses are there. They definitely are there.
Duct tape to his face.
I gotta tell you, for heavyweights, I always seen Ben Stiller from one of those, every man kind of roles, something about Mary, that kind of shit. Then to see him in heavyweights, that was my first time seeing him as like an asshole. I'm like, oh, this is
The first
interesting.
time I saw him was in Heavyweights. So.
Oh,
And then after that, I didn't even associate there's something about Mary with him. I completely his face never associated with that movie. The next thing that I thought of Ben Stiller was after that was fucking Dodgeball. So he always was an asshole.
well, something about Mary is like one of my favorite comedies. So
Blood.
yeah, he's asshole too.
Bleed my own blood. Goddamn purple cobras or whatever the fuck they were called.
Something about Mary is one of my favorite fucking movies.
Dodgeball. I love dodgeball. You dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
He was jacking off the pizza and shit.
It doesn't beat Balls of Fury.
Balls of Fury is not good.
Hey, Chris, it's ping pong, or as the Chinese call it, ping pong. Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken was great in that. That was
Bad.
what made the movie.
But to answer your question, I don't know. I think your taste was like that movie was okay. I think you would say it's okay.
Because it is just okay.
Because it is just okay. Because you're an adult. It's definitely made for kids. So the nostalgia glasses are there. Now I remember why I watched it. Because I watched Mighty Ducks 1, Mighty Ducks 2, Heavyweights, and I was like, these are good. And I was like, Snow Day. I think I remember this movie.
Snow Day.
I watched that.
Snow Day is not good.
And that's where that whole Gravy Train was like,
Snow Day is really bad.
Nickelodeon fucked up.
You know, as a child, I like Snow Day because I wish I had snow days like that where I'm just like, it's fun. You go outside, your friends are doing shit, you go on little adventures.
Then you realize you live in Chicago
And it's
you don't get any fucking snow days.
No, and if you do, the snow is so bad you can't go outside.
So now I remember the reason why I watched these movies. It wasn't for nostalgia. I was taking a class that was about cinematography and the visual aesthetics and how a movie should be presented.
Had you watched Snow Day?
No,
Oh.
I just did it because I was just like, and I was up late and I was doing homework and I was just like, whatever, I'll watch
He was
movies.
drunk.
I wasn't drunk. I was just watching
Yeah,
movies.
he was. That nigga lying.
And I was like, hey, Mighty Ducks. It was background noise. And then it became me focusing on the film. And then all of a sudden, as I'm watching, I'm like, that was a poor shot. I'm like, none of that makes sense. And then
You started watching it for the visual
and then
aesthetic
I started,
of it.
Like everything, I started getting real analytical about it. And then I watched Snow Day, and I remember this specifically. I watched it, I was like, this movie is fucking terrible. I was like, the writing is bad. None of it makes sense. There's no plot point. I was like, these characters are unlikable. And why do I care about any of these characters? The main character sucks dick. I don't care about this fucking piece of shit. And then I remember specifically that I woke up. No, I didn't wake up. I was just up late because I didn't have work for like 3 days. So I was just watching bad movies.
Slacker.
This is when I didn't have a good job. And I remember waking up and my mother woke up. And she's like, you know, she wakes up, she makes her coffee, and I'm just talking with her. I'm like, I watched Snow Day. She was like, okay. I was like, that movie fucking sucks. I remember so.
Oh, Chris, well, I can tell you right now, Snow Day looks like an Oscar award-winning film compared to Snow Dogs. Cuba Gooding Jr.
I guarantee Snow Dogs is better.
No, Snow Dogs is really bad.
Yes,
I guarantee-
I actually like Snow Dogs.
Really?
You like Snow Dogs?
Yes.
Snow Dogs isn't that bad
I
compared to
guarantee
Snow Day.
Snow Dogs is way better. I'm about to fucking Rotten Tomato this shit.
Okay, so what shitty movies did you really like?
Pootie Tang.
I love Pootie Tang. I love that shit.
Pootie Tang is alright. It's like, it might be my number one guilty pleasure.
I love that movie.
Saturday, what a time.
that's why I refer to
Kept a
Max
town on
as
the
tippy
panty
ties.
side.
That's why I refer to his kids as tippy ties.
So here's a better question. Who got some Pootie Tang while watching Pootie Tang?
No. What is
I
that?
did actually. I did.
My man!
I'm not gonna fucking lie. That's no bullshit either. Pootie Tang was on and yeah.
I'm just happy Davey is like padding this because I'm literally trying to find out.
I'm more amazed.
Are you
was
happy
able-
that he's here?
Well, that first off, simply mandated hasn't been here.
Oh my god.
Because he's been mandated, and I love how I put it in quotations like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, so here's some inside baseball for you.
Oh my god.
Me and Chris Panda and Bird God and Matt over here and even Harold and even Mo. Well, not even Mo. No, not Mo. Definitely not Mo. Because he's been super busy.
Oh,
Have been doing a lot of hard labor, especially me and Chris, with so much video production.
I mean, I just came back. I can't really talk, but, you know.
Simply mandated over here.
I've been working a lot.
Be working a lot.
sucking that weenie.
I haven't seen. I don't know what Davey looks like fully alert anymore. I'm not
I'm fully
sure.
alert now. I'm awake, so yeah.
So
Your eyes are permanently droopier now. You're like Droopy Dog.
I'm
long
so
ass shifts.
happy.
I'm gonna nut on everything. That's
I nutted.
I came
Wait a minute.
that's Davey as Droopy Dog.
Okay, so Steve, to answer
was
your
that?
question,
Hmm?
that wasn't really a question, but I have actually found the Rotten Tomatoes statistics.
Let's go. What we got?
I'm gonna give you the audience score,
Okay.
and the tomato meter.
I will react to these.
Oh, jeez.
Hope the Fines brothers don't sue us for saying the word react.
Snow Days tomato meter is a 28%.
Fair enough. Sounds about right.
Snow Dogs,
Uh huh.
24%.
Yep.
Hold on now. The audience meter. Snow Day, 26%.
Okay.
Snow Dogs, 39%.
Black privilege.
What?
Cuba Gooding Jr. It's because they like his dick.
I will give it that. I will give it because of Cuba.
Because
That's
of Cuba.
why.
Fuck
It is
that.
because of Cuba.
Fuck that. Look, I'm putting it like this. If you're averaging those scores, Snow Dogs wins.
The Snow Dogs, the dogs were probably the most charming.
It's the more enjoyable film. It's better made. They're still both.
That's what I put in.
Shit.
They're
Yeah.
both.
Oh, look at Pootie Tang.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Rotten
I'm
Tomatoes.
guessing like an 85.
I'm guessing it's gonna be a
Shit's
separate
Oscar
time.
worthy.
It is a film
Who
for
would say
the...
it's Oscar worthy? I keep trying
Rotten
to tell y'all
Tomatoes
this
says
shit,
it's got a
man.
separate time.
Why is it I can't? Can I not fucking spell?
While he searches for that, who thought when they... Who has seen...
P-O-O-T-I-E.
It was. I was spelling it right, and it just kept correcting the foodie.
Who has seen Booty Call?
Foodie Town.
I have.
I
You
have.
see it as a child.
Yes.
When he wrapped himself up in saran wrap to have sex,
That's the best part.
did you know what was happening?
No, I did not.
No.
I thought he was just being retarded.
I
It was Jamie Foxx.
didn't
But
understand.
that's amazing. Like when you get
It
older,
wasn't
you look at
Jamie
movies,
Foxx.
you're like,
It was
Not even that. If you watch Looney Tunes now.
Tommy Davidson was doing that. Listen to that series.
Because
Oh, it was Tommy Davis. I'm sorry.
So,
You're right.
Pootie Tang has a 29% on the tomato meter, which is
Yep.
baffling.
That tracks.
Now, here's what's kind of shocking.
Let's see that user score, baby.
Come on, say
That
it.
audience score is 60.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
I tell
Yes,
you,
it is.
it's everybody's guilty fucking pleasure.
Why? Because it's just Oscar worthy. I keep trying to tell y'all this shit, man.
For character design, Dirty D,
I hate that.
Dirty D.
I have to be dirty. I need
It's
to
one
be
of
dirty.
the
I'm dirty
dumbest
D.
movies.
Damn it.
I hate that film.
It is a film of our generation.
I don't even know if I have a guilty pleasure movie that I know is bad that I like watching.
I don't have a bad guilty pleasure movie.
Okay,
Right.
I take that back. I get it's not critically bad, like that bad, but it is bad, and it's Resident Evil 2. Apocalypse.
Yeah, those are pretty bad movies.
I went to the movie to see that shit.
No,
okay,
true.
technically, even the Saw films, I love those movies. And
No,
I know they're bad.
You know what?
But their story writing is much better than.
I
One
agree
through three
with
is
you.
okay.
Right.
After
No,
three,
I
it
agree
was
with you on that
like,
because I watched that entire series. I own all the movies,
Yeah,
so I will sit there and watch that because it has good points to it. It
I'm
seriously does.
Three
It's
is
not
the best
terrible.
because Eddie Winslow was in it.
No, that was
Or was that 3?
4 or 5.
Oh, I thought it was 3.
Because he was on that carousel. Me and Steve
Right.
always make fun of that whole scene.
Yeah.
Look at me! You look at me when you're killing me!
Wow!
Ah! He's like, I'm so sorry.
What's his name? Real like
And the
Darius
whole time,
McClure?
he ended up dying anyway. I was like,
Mhm.
They all died.
Do you have any guilty pleasure movies, Bird?
I don't watch movies.
pornographic. Got it.
Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. Fair
That's true. When
enough.
Bird watches movies, it's like,
Hey, Bird, have you seen this movie? 99 times out of a billion.
You know, see, but
It's gonna
a
be
lot
no.
of movies I would
gonna
call
be
Are
my
we
guilty.
talking about bad guilty pleasure movies?
No, like, but a lot of my guilty pleasure movies are still named like cult classics. Like, I mean, I don't
I
know
got
how many
one.
people have seen Cemetery Man, but that's like a serious guilty pleasure.
Weird
for
Matt
me.
games, Weird Matt movies.
Trying to think of the names.
Oh, I have one.
I don't remember what the name of the movie is.
Synopsis.
God, it's got Jamie Kennedy in it.
Oh no. Oh, America.
oh my.
Malibu's Most Wanted?
Oh, God.
Ooh, you like that movie?
I love that movie.
Okay,
So
if that's the
Movie-
case,
movie make my ass
I'm
itch.
also with you. I didn't even think about that movie. I actually do like watching Malibu's Most Wanted.
I don't.
That
Don't
movie.
you call me by my slave name?
Like,
That movie is so
Okay.
stupid.
after a
You
while, I
bad.
just start to cringe really
I got
bad.
Gamecast. GameCube
Or
or
Dreamcast.
Somebody got a Gamecast. I can't afford
Oh shit. All right. Well, also I do like The Wash.
I love The Wash. The Wash is a black
I like the
exploitation.
Wash too, because
That was fucking.
That's where I got 30 Fox from.
and Eminem was in the movie too.
Crazy,
It
yeah.
was hilarious because it didn't make any sense. Steve likes Ice Age Collision Course.
I like the third Friday movie, Friday After Next.
See,
So do I.
my guilty pleasure movie
So
is The
I love
Longest
that.
Yard.
The Longest Yard.
I don't think that movie is that bad.
Nah.
I mean,
You want you said we weren't necessarily naming
Is that
bad
the one with
movies.
Adam Sandler?
Yes, that one, not the older one, the newer one with Adam
Ah,
Sandler.
okay.
That's my guilty pleasure movie. I love
I went to
that
the movie
movie.
to see that one.
I like What Women Want with Mel Gibson in it.
Steve, you like
I would not want to
the
read women's
fuck?
minds. Fuck that. That's
you
fucking
like
scary.
that
crossover.
movie. What is crossover?
Oh,
Wait a minute, that sounds familiar.
Oh, the
I know what that is.
The Jason Bateman.
No.
It's that basketball movie.
It's a black movie.
Oh no! Hell no! With Anthony Mackie, no!
Oh,
no!
that one.
I don't know what
God.
crossover is.
It's a basketball movie.
I'm about to look up the score on it.
So Anthony Mackie, the one that plays Falcon in the Avengers, he was in that movie.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a bad. It was a bad
And
movie.
who was the black dude from the movie with the aliens? And it was
Will Smith.
No.
You said black guy alien
and
movie.
It was a comedy.
Orlando Jones? Evolution?
Yes.
Yeah, Orlando Jones.
Okay.
I like the Evolution.
I liked Evolution a lot.
That movie's sweet. Crossover is not. I'm about to give you a funny story. 59%. Okay.
Is that a user?
Yes.
Oh.
I went to the movie theaters with Wayne because we were like, this movie's gonna be sweet. It looks like Stomp the Yard.
We bought us.
Or like Wow, or like what's that? I was gonna say Wow and Out. What was that dance movie with?
Drumline?
You Got Served?
You Got Served.
It was like it's gonna be You Got Served, but with basketball, because that's what they made all the like trailers look like.
Nothing.
That movie.
It was nothing like that. And me and Wayne went to the movies to see it, and we were like, that movie was bad. And we were only like 13, so we were still kind of young enough to be like, it could be better. But no, we knew it was bad. You wanna know how bad it is? Guess the tomato meter rating, Steve.
18.
7.
2.
5.
David got it right.
Seriously?
No
Two?
way,
Good.
bro.
5. 2. Wait. 2.
How many? Okay, but how many reviews though?
Out of like percentages for like,
Does it give like a kind of
it
an
has
average?
1 fresh and 63 rotten.
Fair enough. That works, I guess. I mean,
Audience-
who's gonna see this movie, right?
Audience
So.
rating out of 102,565
Good lord!
is 59%, which is even weirder because that movie sucks. That is one of the worst films I've ever watched, ever. Not even good visually, narratively, even audio-wise.
That's because you haven't seen Manos, The Hands of Fate, which is translated to Hands, The Hands of Fate.
Man, y'all remember that movie?
Oh God, Wayne Brady was in the movie.
Oh.
I forgot Wayne Brady was.
Man, y'all remember that movie Biker Boys?
All right, okay.
I was
all
just
right.
about to mention that
All right.
bootleg ass Fast and the Furious.
It was no,
It was
Torque was.
Torque.
Was.
They both were.
I think Torque
But
was better
Torque
than
was
Biker
better.
Boys.
I like
Torque
Torque.
was better.
I did like Torque.
Actually, I like Torque.
I've seen so many of these.
It's up until the very end of the movie. Man, that shit was ass.
Biker Boys is
Well,
like one of
because
people who also
the
like-
special effects were terrible at
Ass,
the end.
that's what I'm talking about.
Like,
It's funny because like people who also like this movie. First movie, Biker Boys.
Yep.
Second movie, Torque.
Yep.
And then I looked
Like
past it,
Red Line or some shit like that.
Yeah, Red Line.
And then there's more. There's 3 more movies, and I've seen all of them. Codename The Cleaner.
Oh,
Cedric
God.
Entertainment.
No.
Oh,
One of my other worst movies ever, Underclassmen. Nick Cannon.
Oh, when
Nick
he was
Cannon.
like a undercover cop or
He
some
was an
shit.
undercover cop that went to high school,
High school.
because he
Oh,
looked extremely
It was
young.
22 Jump Street.
Except it was worse
Mm-hmm.
by a bazillion miles. And Half Past Dead.
Half past it. That's the.
Ja
Seagal.
Rule. Yeah, not Ja
Was
Rule.
that Ja
It's
Rule?
murder.
DMX.
No,
Dan-
it wasn't even.
You know, it's you can combine that with
Who-
Cradle
it
to the
was-
Grave and call it the same movie.
Okay, was that
Ja
correct?
Rule.
It was the same.
It was Ja
director.
Rule. Okay, I
the
knew
same
it was
director.
one of them.
He liked hip hop and martial arts for
Exit
some
Wounds
reason.
was
DMX. Exit Wounds was the other one. Okay.
Cradle to the Grave.
Man, Cradle to the Grave was Jet Li and DMX.
Hey, I fucked that movie.
Which is awesome.
Same cinematic
Fuck
universe.
That movie.
Why? Okay. Now,
Underclassmen was so bad.
okay. The black,
Why did I see
the black
these
guy,
movies?
the bald
That's
black
why him and
guy
Mariah Carey got divorced.
that played in
Why
the
did I
movie.
see Rebound? I forgot
What
about
movie?
this
What the hell is
In the
Rebound?
Jet
When
Li.
Martin Lawrence was
movie.
a basketball coach for like a junior
God,
high
what was
school.
the one? The one with
Also,
Aaliyah.
bootleg Coach Carter.
DMX.
Oh, something.
Kind of,
Alexander
yes.
or something. He was a comedian.
Oh my God, I've seen all these movies.
He was
Was
in Romeo
he?
Must Die.
What the fuck?
Yes,
is
the
that done with my
yeah,
the bald black guy.
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Why does he always have the same jacket in every
Why have
movie
I
he
seen
plays
Black
in?
Knight and Bring It
Like, because
Down
remember he
House?
was in
Hey,
Gone in
'cause
60
both of those
Seconds?
were
I mean, all these guilty pleasures.
Great
I just-
black ass movies.
They're just all black. They're just all.
I
You
saw
did not
Black
see
Knight
Gone
in
60
theaters.
Seconds?
Gone in 60 Seconds? I fucking love Gone
You
in
did
60
not see
Seconds.
that.
I'm not a fan of Nick Cage.
But you didn't see Gone in 60 Seconds?
It's a great movie.
That
Have you
was
ever
a,
seen
Eleanor,
Jack?
the car.
What?
Yes.
Have you ever seen Kangaroo
In
Jack?
theaters.
Really?
Yes, I saw it in theaters.
Oh.
I'm not proud of that.
You know what? Though? You know what I saw in theaters? The Rocky and Bullwinkle movie.
Oh.
See that?
Hyper Parabo.
Oh.
What's she doing nowadays, right? Oh, this is not a good movie. Why did I want to see that in the theaters?
God, I saw that movie too.
Hey, I seen Lottery Ticket in
Taxi.
theaters.
Taxi was a movie with
Queen
Queen
Latifah.
Latifah?
Latifah and Jimmy Kimmel.
That movie actually wasn't that bad. I actually kind of enjoyed that.
Oh my
Didn't
god!
see it.
I forgot.
Well, I know it's
These are all one-off movies for me. Movies that I see one time, completely forget I see them until I see a picture of it. I'm like, oh shit, that was a thing.
But there's another one.
Like I'm pretty sure I can I've seen The Honeymooners. Oh, I forgot I saw Rollerball.
Ooh.
Oh. Paul Heyman made a cameo in there. And so did Jamie
Joanna
Kennedy.
Man.
Hey, Joanna Man was the shit.
All right.
Have you seen that movie, Bird?
Joanna Man is great. I love
Joanna
Joanna
Man.
Your
Man.
face.
Judge me.
Pretty fucking
Fight
funny.
me.
Tommy Davis. The only reason that movie is funny is because of Tommy Davis.
Hell yeah.
Tommy Davis made that fucking movie.
He's a great fucking comedian. Dude, he said something like, "Did it hurt?"
Joanna Man is
Where?
one of the
Wait,
greatest
no, no,
basketball
no.
movies of all time.
I remember that. I
I
laughed so
could
hard
watch
at
only
time.
that part. Him when it's in the fucking steakhouse and he was singing to her. He was just like,
If that movie came out today,
What movie?
Oh.
there would be a fucking
Oh.
absolute shit.
Oh,
Somebody's
it'd be
gonna
real
hear this.
bad.
They're gonna pitch the idea for Joanna Man 2.
I wouldn't.
Not today's climate. It'd be real fucking bad. The white chicks, that would not go over well.
Dude, white chicks would fucking never get over it.
Like, nah.
First off, it's called White
No.
Chicks. I was so.
Like,
That
how
movie
did that movie
bad to begin
get
with.
My girlfriend loves that.
Made in the first.
Joanna Man featuring
Fucking-
Caitlyn
that is
Jenner.
reverse racism.
Yeah, oh yeah, because it's not okay to, for white people to do blackface, but it's perfectly fine to have two dudes play white women
Yeah, no shit. I didn't even think
and make
it
fun
that
of
way.
white people the entire time.
You're right. I did not think of it that way. You're
And-
right.
And if it wasn't even funny.
Apparently, whiteface is not a thing.
Oh, I forgot I saw My Baby's Daddy
Oh.
I love that movie.
with Eddie Griffin, Method Man, Anthony Anderson, and some other Latino.
Oh God,
character.
I
remember
love that movie.
I don't.
I love it. Jordan and I watch that shit a lot.
You
I
ever
don't know
see
why.
King's Ransom?
I know
No.
what that is, but I never. I
That
never
was with
watched it.
Charlie Murphy.
Yes.
I have seen that one.
It was
Shit.
Anthony Anderson. He was like a billion.
He was a bit, and they
he was a billionaire,
kidnapped
and
him.
They kidnapped him, and it was oh. My God.
Yep, I
Sounds
remember
When,
that.
like black comedies were a big thing, but they were never really that good.
Yeah, like Big Mama's House.
They were because they were
And
dropping them like
They were dropping them
like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them.
like
a lot.
Johnson Family Vacation and Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Oh,
Death
God.
to
That
the
was another Nick
funeral.
Cannon movie,
That was
wasn't
a
it?
Nick
Okay.
Funeral.
But that was
Funny.
my mom was just
Yes.
watching
Okay,
it today.
that was
you know,
funny.
you forget like Peter Dinklage is in that movie,
He
and
is.
it's like
He
they-
is.
Gay lover.
yeah, of their father.
I like that movie. Love Don't Cost a Thing. I really, really like that movie. I don't know why.
Oh,
Ju-
good. That's
I
okay.
just like
That's
Christina
okay.
Milian, and
I
that's it.
really like
Do
that
you want to know
movie.
how many times I've seen two can play that game?
Christina Milian.
I've seen a lot.
She's still fine.
She was my childhood crush for the long.
Oh.
Christina Milian.
And she's still
so-
fine.
Oh my gosh, she's sexy as shit. I
Now,
loved her.
It's
The
just the sexiest
epitome
bird.
of black comedy movies will always be So Plain. We'll never forget
I
that.
forgot that was a thing.
So
Every
plain.
black
I
person
think
had that on bootleg.
I think at the
swear
same
to God,
time-
that's how I watched it.
I think Three Strikes came out around that same time.
Oh,
too.
I saw Three Strikes as well, and I
Three
thought
Strikes,
that was stupid
I remember
as shit.
3 Strikes.
I'm trying to remember what that
It's
is.
kind of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but with probation.
Oh,
It's the same thing. I got it.
I've never seen that movie.
I remember
Ferris
Boondocks
Bueller's
made
Day
fun of
Off?
So Plain.
You never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Dude, you never seen insert movie here?
Have you seen
Whoa.
Have you seen Groundhog Day
No.
or
I haven't seen that.
or
I seen that. I watched that.
fucking
You ever seen The Lion King?
Yes.
Cool.
okay, so there's Last Action Hero.
I feel like an Allen thing was
What?
coming in.
Oh,
Shorts and
Wait,
shit.
oh,
Speaking of
it's
last
the most meta action movie ever, man.
Who
okay,
hit Last Boy Scout?
Never heard of it.
never heard of
Is
that.
that the one? with
Damon
Bruce Willis?
Wayans and Bruce Willis.
I saw
Heard
that.
of
That
it,
shit
never
was
seen
funny as fuck,
remember
and it
that.
was great.
I remember that.
Have you ever heard of or seen this movie called Dead Alive?
Dead Alive.
It is from
Not Dead or Alive, just Dead Alive.
Dead Alive. I've seen Dead or Alive. I like that film. Weird enough.
What?
It is from
Oh, it's
one
bad?
Peter
But the
Jackson.
fighting? Not that bad.
The fight was not bad.
Wasn't Peter Jackson the guy that did King Kong?
King Kong
Yeah,
and Lord of the Rings.
And the Frighteners.
Why do I
Fun
remember
fact.
King Kong and not Lord of the Rings?
But like I said,
I love that movie.
the fun fact, the Frighteners.
I don't even know what that That is.
I know
That's
why.
the one with
Because the movie
Michael J. Fox.
of the
Michael
game
J.
is
J.
literally
Fox.
called. It's not
Peter
called
Jackson's-
King Kong. It's Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Dude, Dead Alive is probably, I think, the goriest film of all time, or something like that. It's like the bloodiest.
That
Per
movie-
kind
It
of.
is hands down one of my most
Insane.
favorite fucking movies.
I kick ass in the name of the Lord.
That is the best priest in the world. There's like a scene where they're in like a graveyard near a church, and zombies come to life, and they're like, "Oh, Father, what's going on?" I was like,
I know, right? I haven't done it yet.
Oh,
Jesus
I kick
Christ,
ass in the
what the
name of the Lord. That was me.
Oh, God damn! Oh, no! He just dropped a
Oh
bomb!
my god.
What party?
Oh, no! Oh,
Lord,
It squeaked out. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ!
we're gonna die.
It squeaked out. I'm sorry.
Squeaked out my ass.
No, it did. Or she would hear me go, "Oh."
Hey, can I drink beer through my shirt?
No, don't do
So,
that. Don't do that.
Anyway,
Oh,
God.
Snag ass shirt.
So, speaking of King Kongs, I was about to say, who remembers Mighty Joe Young?
Oh, yeah.
I
I've
did.
seen that movie a few
I
times.
did. I thought it was King Kong
It
something for the longest.
was Disney
Have you
movie.
ever
She
seen
just got sex with that monkey.
George of the Jungle?
Yeah.
With Brendan Fraser?
I
Both
used to
of
watch
them.
that movie. There was a sequel.
It was,
Yes.
but
There was a
I,
sequel.
but,
Oh, really?
But I knew about the freaking cartoon, so.
I know. Which was
Oh, yeah.
just
Watch out for that
Would you, yeah.
tree.
Was that the movie?
Brendan
No, I'm
Fraser.
thinking of something else.
Watch
Where
out for
like,
that
there's like a monkey
tree.
in the briefcase and the
Oh, that's Monkey Bone.
Monkey Bone, yep.
that I used to watch that all the time.
I'm
Monkey
not.
Bone was sweet.
Monkey
Never
Bone?
seen that.
Monkey Bone is Brendan Fraser goes to hell, essentially.
Question.
I
What
haven't
was...
seen that.
It was a cartoon that
Oh.
came on
And the monkey was like
after
cartoonish, and it was interesting.
George of the Jungle. He was like a race. He was a regular race car
No.
driver.
Speed Racer?
No.
Yeah, I was about to say the same.
Something Dundee, some shit like that.
It wasn't
What?
Star Wars
Dundee.
animation.
Yeah.
It ain't Crocodile Dundee, so which other Dundee is it?
I can't remember.
Paul Hogan?
It was played by the same actor.
No.
It was the same people that did George of the Jungle.
Brendan Fraser movies are very.
So what you said? You're looking for a Brendan Fraser movie that's what now?
It's not a Brendan Fraser movie.
Oh, well,
Or
okay.
it might be. I don't freaking know.
Wait.
What was the
what
synopsis
was
you
it?
have?
What was-
The only
Can't remember.
scene I remember is there was like I think it was like an animal smuggler, and there was like this little kid. It was a kid's movie.
Oh,
There was like this little boy that like knocked on the briefcase, and there was like an animal inside it. It was probably like a monkey or something.
oh, I think it's a Tim Allen movie.
Oh, the movie with the fucking.
It's a Tim Allen
He's
movie.
got like the arrows in his face and
Yes.
shit.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Wait. From
What was
something
it?
to something.
Jungle the Jungle.
Yep.
Jungle to
Yeah, because
Jungle
it was
to
like
Jungle.
from something to something.
Never
and he
seen
had this,
that.
the kid had the spider.
I've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
he had that.
always-
He had like
yeah.
he had like a tarantula.
Yeah, because he had like a
Never seen
son, but the son was raised like in the jungle, and so
His wife was like in some tribe
Yeah.
or something. And the kid
What-
grew
what's
up in the
weird-
tribe.
What's weird is I only remember that movie from the VHS tape for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. And I actually remember all the ads in that movie because I played that VHS tape the fuck out. There was that. There was Dunstan Checks In.
Who could forget that?
fucking monkey.
The timeless classic.
That is what I'm thinking of.
Dunstan with the
Dunstan
monkey.
Checks In.
Oh, cause
That's it.
Oh.
He did. He knocked on the briefcase and Dunstan was
Well, if
in
you've
there.
seen-
Remember? Because yeah.
Watch me draw this line though. If you've seen Dunstan Checks In, then you've probably also seen Blank Check. Kid with
yes.
a, yeah. Everybody has seen those movies.
Wait, what was Blank Check?
I know what you're talking about, but I never
Richie
bothered to
Rich.
watch that.
Blank Check. Is
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Blank Check is the movie
About that
where-
kid who wrote that $1 million check, wasn't it? Yeah, I know what
Yes.
you're talking about. I
He
never
brought
watched
all
and it was,
kinds
wait,
of shit.
and the funny thing about it, when I finally grew
I
up and
fucked
understood, it was drug money that kid got.
I know.
I
I
have a
watched it
question.
not too.
Is
no,
that the
not
one
too long
movie
ago.
where
I watched
he
it
went on a
when
date with that woman?
Holy shit.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it bad that when I was like a kid, I wanted him to fuck that lady? I was like, man, I want him to fucking shove this girl.
Oh my
Because
god.
that's when
I
he
was a
slipped,
kid.
that's when he like
Hey,
was,
I
like
mean,
slipped
that's
on.
what I wanted out of Big. The first time I saw that Tom Hanks film, Big, I was like, I want him to bone this woman, and she just get.
But
pregnant
but
like
here's the
nothing,
thing.
bro.
I just watched Big like
Didn't
few
he
weeks or so.
actually fucked up?
He did, and I was like, man. She was there, and she was like, she told him, "Look me up in a
And, like-
few years." And everything. I was like, man.
I mean,
you
is
are a
that? I
pedophile.
guess not. I guess it's legal if
It's not because
None
he,
of that
he
makes
was the
sense
thing.
'cause it's
He
because
was,
magic
he
isn't
was-
really.
he was a
If
little
it's
kid.
magic,
He was a little
you
kid. His body
Was it
was grown. he was still a child.
Hey,
It wasn't like it
Who's
was.
fucking Benjamin Button?
hey, you're either legal or it's magic, so it's fine. Magic legal is still legal, baby.
That magic is not gonna get your ass out of prison.
It's fine, man. I tell you.
I just remembered the third movie that was on that Power Rangers tape. Indian in the Cupboard.
Yeah, you see that one where toys go in a cupboard and they come out as real people.
I never knew the name of that fucking movie.
Yes.
So you've seen stuff.
That was the coolest part when he just put all them toys in there, and Vader and the
and then he-
T-Rex and everything was in there just getting down with each other.
It's so weird. I was like, all these movies look interesting. Power Rangers, go Power Rangers. I was just like, fuck it. My kid mind was like, I don't care about anything except Power Rangers.
I think my childhood was just whatever my mother decided to pick up from the store.
That's
out of,
usually-
like, the dollar bin.
That's usually how that goes.
Because I didn't watch any of the cool shit. Like Power Rangers, I barely saw anything.
My mom knew I
I'm
was
sorry.
addicted.
Oh, we
Drug
watched
habit.
fucking.
And she was like, she got me Power Rangers movie as a birthday gift, and I was
my
like,
goodness.
yeah.
Well, like I said, y'all,
Oh, you rented shit like True Lies.
because like I said, my mother was a,
Great.
was a
True Lies.
True Lies
of
is my
course.
it is my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
All I remember is the striptease scene. That's
Do it,
I don't
do
remember
it.
shit about that movie.
Steve, how can you like True Lies but not, Jingle All the Way?
Jingle All the Way. I actually liked Jingle All the Way.
or
I like that
Paxton is
movie.
entertaining.
Bill Paxton getting fucking done. He knocked his ass to the back of that convertible.
Yes,
Have you
man.
seen Jingle All the Way?
What they're trying to get the Turbo Man doll?
I need a Turbo Man.
It's
Nobody wants
Sinbad. It's Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's one of those holiday. It's a holiday rush movie where they're trying to get like this big toy in demand, and they're going to these outrageous lengths.
My Schwarzenegger
Go-to movie.
my Arnie log is like Predator, Terminators,
Thank God.
and
Commando.
Collateral Damage.
Let me tell you, they really
Collateral
fucked
Damage
up.
was
They really
good.
fucked up those
my God.
Terminator
I went to see that in
movies.
theaters with my dad.
Because
Yes.
look, if
That was a long
you
time
going to
ago.
watch Terminator 2 by itself without watching Terminator 1, you're thinking to yourself, okay, so he's here to save. But if you go in watching Terminator 1 into Terminator 2 before they
haven't seen
reveal,
any of the new
That whole
Terminators.
first scene so much more impactful.
yes,
You
because you
understand what she went through when
think
she see him.
I saw Terminator 2 first.
So did I.
so did I.
Oh no, I saw Terminator 1 before the whole thing, so I knew like what it was, but I understood it because I was like, oh, that's John, and I was like, is the mother dead? So I had seen those from
It's
scratch.
screwed. The marketing screwed up Terminator 2 though, because the big twist is, oh no, Arnold this time is the good guy, and that cop is the evil one. That's the whole thing. It's like they just kind of if you go in and show somebody 1 and 2 without any of that marketing shit, it's like, oh, that's a huge twist. At the cemetery, right? That scene where he's like saving them because he finally catches up to him.
I think you're thinking of T3.
Is that T3?
That's T3.
That was T3.
He saved him at the
Jumped
mall,
way ahead.
No, okay. Whenever when he actually saves them.
and that's what. And like I said, and then Sarah seeing him for the first time, you get
T3 is a
why
fun
that's
movie.
so important. Why she just
T3 is a fun
went
movie.
I haven't
It's
seen
nuts.
so
any
bad.
of the new
Yeah,
the
Terminators
it's
whole
like-
time seeing him. That's why she just.
It's been a long time since I've seen
Speaking of Terminator,
It is not good.
T3.
but
The
it's-
only thing I remember from
arcade
T3 is her legs swinging
Yeah,
around the back end.
Oh, T2.
no.
The
Now, why did
Terminatrix.
you was shoot
Salvation.
this? Yeah,
That game was sweet.
fun as hell.
Wait, Salvation was actually good.
No.
Like the arcade game for
There's
the
an arcade Salvation
I just
game.
been-
Oh, is it?
And it's like T2, but it's modern. And it's
was
good.
alright. It's very hard for me.
I haven't seen it.
Now I don't watch a lot of movies, but it's very hard for me to like not like a movie. Like it has to be like Talladega Nights. I fucking hate that movie.
I don't like most Will Ferrell
I love
movies.
that movie.
Yeah,
It has to
man.
You love
I
that
love
movie,
that
Chris.
It
I
has to
kind of
be-
do like
I love Talladega Nights. This shit's funny as fuck to me.
Let's see. What have
I
I,
haven't
not
seen it.
watched? Borat. I couldn't finish.
Hate it.
I
like
don't
it.
bother.
He's not
Alright,
funny.
It's very hard to sit. And if you think that's hard to sit through, the fucking one where he was just like a weird president shit. I don't remember the Sacha Baron. I don't even remember.
Yeah, because he had 3 of them. He had he had
They're
Borat. He had the other one.
I'm
Bruno.
good on them.
Bruno is fucking hard to sit through. I was like, these movies are ass. I do not see the appeal.
Me either.
So what did I say? Talladega Nights.
Borat.
Borat.
What else couldn't I finish?
Pulp Fiction because he hates Steve.
I finished Pulp Fiction.
It's a phenomenal fucking
And
movie.
that's the
Never
greatest
seen
film
it.
of all time.
My favorite of all time.
Controversial thing.
I've never seen it.
Controversial thing for me. I'm finally coming out and saying it. I don't think Pulp Fiction's that good.
Because you're stupid.
Get the fuck out of my
I
face.
think it's okay.
Of course,
I
you're.
think it's okay.
I don't think it's.
You are completely.
You are-
You have every right to your
Hate
opinion, and you have every right to be wrong.
No.
So.
No.
I mean,
hate you.
I've never seen it, so I have no
the first
opinion.
time,
I have-
the first time I saw that, I had to been
I think it's
11 or something
Too
like
young.
that.
You won't
I was-
understand it.
So I mean, so it was like, it was like, oh, I'm seeing this violent, crazy movie at the point in time. I went back and watched it now, and it was like,
Shit's fucking golden.
I'm like, okay,
Shit's great.
it's okay, but I
Thank
mean, but
you.
I don't have to. But it's not like on my top tier.
It's
like,
my number. It's my number one.
Like that's
Mine
what
too.
I don't even. I don't own that movie.
I never get tired of watching it.
Me neither.
I'm gonna
It
come back
sucks
to the
because every
movie
time
I
it's
couldn't
on, I
finish.
have to fucking watch it.
I'm gonna come back to the movies I haven't finished, but a really fucking good Tarantino movies, Inglourious Bastards.
That's fantastic.
That movie is great. That is way better than Pulp Fiction.
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was okay. too.
Tarantino makes movies that I'm very hit or miss on, so I'm not always like.
I'm gonna swing it back to here because I'm gonna go in a different direction. The third movie I couldn't finish that I remember is Superbad.
I've watched Superbad a bazillion times.
That movie is absolutely terrible.
Really?
It is awful. It is ass. It
But
is
you
not
know what?
funny.
But you know what? I find it quotable because it's funny for me in certain scenes, but I could see how it's not funny. The only scenes that I found really funny were the fucking scenes with Seth Rogen being a cop. It was like, oh god, we gotta get him. It's like, oh shit, he's the fastest kid alive. I always thought that scene where they're trying to chase him, and Seth Rogen's so fucking fat, he can't catch him. He's like, what is he doing? He's the fastest kid alive. I always thought that shit was funny.
You know, the one part that made me laugh about that movie was when they were shooting at the stop sign, and then they heard sirens like, "Oh shit, it's the cops!" and they're cops. It's the funniest.
But I couldn't understand this. Like,
what?
looking back in hindsight, I'm like, this movie isn't.
What was the point of Superbad?
They just wanted to get laid.
So
It's a horny teen movie.
It was. That's all it was. It was just.
it was
We're trying to get
just
liquor so we can get laid. That's it.
That's all it was.
It was Jonah Hill having a comedic role that actually was like, oh, he can be funny.
Horny teen
He's
movies are
lost
very
weight.
hit or miss
It's like,
with me. So
I hated that
can't.
movie, but I loved Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
I was just about to bring
That
that up.
movie was I was not expect. There are movies where I just don't
That
expect.
movie actually kind of changed my life because, first of all, it had my name in it for one. Second of all, I never had White Castle until I saw that movie, and I
Oh.
craved White Castle so fucking much after
Oh,
I
no.
saw
That
that.
movie is bad.
I wonder how
You should always be afraid of White
much White Castle sales went up after that movie came out.
Not very, since they're all closed.
Well, that was a long time ago when
That's
that came
true.
really close.
I'm talking about like the immediate impact.
That's true. I bet a lot of people want to go to White
I'm pretty
Castle.
sure it skyrocketed.
Honestly, that was like the silliest movie I've ever seen because they went through all that bullshit
Then
just
they
to
made
go to a White Castle.
Then they made the other
Just
two, and
to
it
go
was
to
like, okay,
White
now
Castle.
you should have just stopped.
Yeah, the other two were just okay.
What was the third one? Guantanamo Bay?
That was the second one.
The second
The third one was like a 3D Christmas movie.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
I didn't watch it.
Things always get worse as they
Guantanamo Bay,
go.
I fell
It's
asleep
like,
on. I was like, this is just not good.
But I do love the part where they were riding that fucking cheetah. That shit.
That was great.
This is very, very controversial, even amongst our viewers.
That's fine.
Princess Mononoke.
And what?
I think it's
That movie.
Wow.
That movie.
I have
It's
never
garbage.
seen a Studio Ghibli movie.
Wow.
I think it's dull.
I can understand Dole. But garbage?
I was watching it with a
I
group of
mean,
friends.
I don't
got up
understand
and
why
I
that's
left.
too much different. If it's dull, then why the fuck would I want to watch it? I think it's a
got
bad
up,
movie.
I got up and I left, and they're like, "Are you gonna finish the movie?" I turned around, I'm like, "This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen," and they just like, "This movie's so great." It's like a Tarantino movie, because you know how Tarantino movies kind of start out kind of slow,
It's slow pacing.
but then it picks up. It's like that, except it never picks up.
It's like Pulp Fiction starts with talking, conversations, and stuff, and then things ramp up.
I will never go back and watch it, ever.
I'm able to sit through really bad movies. I sat through Rubber.
I watched it with you.
Oh no, I can't do that.
No, not Flubber.
Rubber. It's a movie about a sentient tire that kills people.
That's what it was.
It's just the car. It's just the car tire.
Me and Steve were like,
It blows
I heard this
people
movie
up.
is hilarious. We have to watch
It's
it.
the most confusing
Me
thing.
and Steve are sitting there with JD, and we're like, what?
And what's funny,
Fuck, am I watching?
and they had that movie.
And they had an audience watching the movie
In
while
the
movie was
movie,
playing.
it was a,
but the way the movie, it didn't
sounds
seem
so
violent at first because they had it where it's like this tire is kind of rolling and then it gets like dumb violent.
It gets right.
It's
It's
And then they
weird.
poison the audience with like radioactive turkeys or something like that.
They poison the food and they kill the audience
kill the
in the
audience.
Movie
movie.
had no direction.
Dude, this movie was pointless.
Why? It's like, why were they
JD left
even?
midway? He was like, "All right, I'm going home." I was like, "JD, the movie's almost over. There's 15
He was
minutes left." He was
exquisite.
like, "Fuck this shit," and he got up and left. And basically like,
And then the tire got other tires.
"This movie is bad."
Here's the thing.
And
No.
people like this movie. I'm like, I don't. Why?
No movie I sat through and I could never finish it again.
What?
Watchmen. I hate it.
Wait. You can see.
I get
Watchmen.
that. I hear that a
Watchmen
I've seen
is
Watchmen one time. and I'll
literally
watch it again.
I understand.
great
I
movie
understand.
because everybody expects from a superhero movie to have action based. Watchmen is not action based. It's not. It is taken from. Watchmen takes place years after the Watchmen actually were supposed to have been, where they had their action, they were taking down villains and stuff like that. This is the after
Bird got his
effect.
hand high in the air.
Let's go.
I say, whenever Watchmen came out, I'm like, why watch this when you could just watch The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
But it wasn't.
no.
It wasn't the same thing.
I
It was.
like that movie.
Me too.
No.
But no, like I said, that's the
It was a
thing.
good movie.
You had
I
to.
thought it was okay.
That was
Taking
fine,
Watchmen
yeah.
was taking it from like a real life superhero.
My thing with the Watchmen is
I was
from-
bored. That was my reason.
I
That
understand.
dick was huge.
Oh God, we're not. No, we're not
Yeah,
talking.
it's food.
Stop. We're not talking about that
But
anymore.
I do like Rorschach. I love
Yeah,
that.
Rorschach was fucking cool, but
Same with Rorschach.
overall, for me, I took from that movie. I would have had to been a huge fan. That was meant for hardcore fans of that comic series because
Yeah.
I went. Me and my brother went to go see that in theaters, and I fell asleep. And this was before we had reclining theater chairs. I fell asleep. I was like, "Yeah, this is not interesting at all."
I borrowed it on Blu-ray. That was one of the
Yeah,
first
it was-
Blu-rays I saw.
I would never watch that movie
was-
again.
Is amazing.
I rented it on DVD.
Seriously is. It had point and everything, but it is
I agree.
all cerebral based. You have
I
to not
agree.
expect that I'm going to see
Yep.
ass
But that's-
kicking throughout this
and
entire
That's
movie.
weird because I already knew that the film was about people after being superheroes, and I was like, cool, I'll watch it. That sounds interesting as hell, and I just was bored.
Because there was nothing going on. The immediate threat was like there was nuclear. And it was in the process of nuclear war. And in nuclear war, how can literally with one person having superpowers, that this person now has a mindset that is beyond human comprehension, where he's just like, I'm letting y'all do what y'all want to do, because he's like on like a god base. How can we stop a nuclear war? Because there's not shit that you can do. There literally was just a nuclear war and how it was. One of them found a way to do it by fucking shit up. And that was what the movie was throughout the whole thing. And you had to base it on the fact of like, what could a superhero actually do that doesn't have superpowers? How could they stop a nuclear war?
Yeah, that's great, but I was still fucking bored.
Yep.
I was bored in this.
Beyond belief.
Bored in the same way I was bored when I went to go see Batman versus Superman. The only thing that I learned about
that
Batman
shit.
versus Superman was fucking Weird Luthor, because I was like, his quotes are fucking ridiculous.
If he is a terrible.
It was terrible. And I was like,
hated
this movie is
Luthor.
boring. I hated Luthor. Actually, no, I take that back. We were in the theaters. I said this is the one thing that made me hype, and it was that Wonder Woman theme. Luthor actually pissed me off in the middle. I was like, okay, now it's wearing off. But as soon as Wonder Woman kicked in and that music kicked in, I was like, whatever the fuck that music is, give me more of that shit. Because I got hyped real quick. And I was like, ugh, it's Wonder Woman.
Batman versus
it went high and looked.
Batman vs Superman for me, throughout the entire movie, I enjoyed it up until they became friends because of Martha, and I was like, okay, I'm done.
Because I like Ben Affleck as Batman.
3 hours.
I enjoyed that.
I
That was the only thing I loved
love
about that movie.
I love Ben Affleck.
I was
as
so
Batman.
worried.
Yeah, I forgot that fight scene existed.
I kept telling everybody, Ben
he
Affleck
showed
played
up,
a
the Superman
fantastic
fight was
fucking
okay.
Matt Murdock.
The
He was a
Superman fight
great
was
Daredevil.
okay.
That movie was written shitty.
The Superman
It was a
fight
good Batman, a shitty movie. That's
But
all
when
it
he
was.
first
I
came
can't-
in,
Daredevil, like if you
No,
look
the-
at him as Daredevil, he played
I
a
refuse
great
to do that
Daredevil.
again. No.
But
No,
you
that movie
cannot
sucked.
watch the
Daredevil
movie
sucked
story. No, I'm saying, like I said, as what he played.
Oh no!
if
I
you
don't
look
care if
at
he played
him,
that movie still sucks dick.
the movie sucked. But when I was there, I'm like,
But he's a part of the movie,
but that's the thing.
so the movie sucks.
You can pull from the character, and I looked
No,
at it.
yeah,
I said,
'cause the movie
looking at
sucks.
him, he's gonna be a great Batman. I kept saying it. I'm like, he's gonna be an amazing Batman.
I didn't get that.
Not at all.
I didn't get that.
I honestly, I had faith in him because it was something
new and it was something different. I'm like, you know what? I want to see what he's gonna do because
No, fuck, I didn't want to see any of
I
that.
told Chris this years ago. Like Ben Affleck has did good movies.
Yeah, he
And
has.
he did some bad
Nobody's ever
Yeah, but
disputed that.
he was never seen
This
as an
was
action
about
hero.
seeing him and his
Paycheck
superhero
was actually
jump.
decent.
Okay,
No, it's fine.
I have to
Paycheck,
stop
Aaron
real quick
Eckhart.
because I will forget. Has did good movies.
I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah, I think he's done good movies
He has done good.
or good films.
Because see, Modest P wasn't
You know
never
what I
that he
I know,
wasn't a
it's
good
like the
actor.
stress.
I know.
It was just, and as far as like after Daredevil, that
Thank you,
just
you don't
terrible
really
movie. It was
Like I
like
said, I
I
knew-
couldn't see him in a superhero genre again.
I knew it.
Oh,
I
totally
knew he
understood.
was, and I
totally
kept saying
understood
it.
I'm like,
The only
I didn't want to
I
judge it too
understand your
soon.
reasoning behind
So
it.
I'm like,
I
you know
can't
what? Let's
wait
see what
to
he can
hear
do.
I
their
literally told
response,
people
so.
I hope he will be a good Batman, but I am not like I don't have faith in him. He extremely overshot my expectations. So applaud to you. Ben
Okay,
Affleck.
go ahead, Pat Buchanan.
There's a special fifth one that I just kind of realized.
What?
Why? Superhero movies.
Just in general?
I just can't get into them. The only ones I've watched outside of The
Haircut.
Extraordinary Gentleman, which I watched when I was like a teen, so I haven't rewatched it to see if it's actually good.
Spawn.
Like
I don't even
is
like that movie. The Mask.
Oh,
the Dark Knight trilogy. Like that's it. And Batman's not really a superhero. I mean, he is, but he's not. Everything else is just like
He's essentially a vigilante.
this is
but
not.
He's a hero guy.
It's just like because I watched.
man, the shit they didn't deal with him in the comics these
I've
days.
seen
you know,
parts of
comics
like
are
Iron
weird.
Man. I've seen parts of Thor. I've seen the first Captain America movie, and I'm just like,
Oh no! Well, see, you've kind of made mistakes here. So
You know, the first Captain America movie, I actually had to go back and watch that, and that's actually better than what I initially.
I didn't think it was bad when I saw it. I was just like, it's
It-
really fucking slow.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
it was a
that's
movie.
what-
It was a
slow.
movie. It was a
We
movie
all
of
wanted to see that.
montages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a movie of montages
Like,
because they
that-
were just
that
doing
was
a catch up.
That was another one that bored me. I knew it was an origin thing, fine, but like, I had to go back and look at it and watch it again. I'm like, okay, this isn't as bad or boring as it was
But
originally when I first saw
I
it.
understand Bird's logic completely because I could see it.
and the only one I really liked, listening to like the Marvel universe, was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, those
It's a very- it's
those
a-
movies, both of
They're
those
not
are great.
Really superheroes. They're just kind of normal. I mean, like,
Drax is.
because there's these fun moments in it,
And
you know.
Rocket is literally just.
Gamora is genetically enhanced.
She's technically, because she's Thanos' daughter.
Thanos enhanced her, so she's enhanced.
I can say that. I can see how that
Groot
is
is a
though.
fucking tree.
A lot of the superhero
He's
movies.
a fucking tree.
A lot of the superhero movies, especially a lot of Marvel movies, have a common problem, and the big problem with them is you bring these people together and you have these kind of strong lead roles, but then you have very weak antagonists. So you don't really have a big motivating factor,
That was Deadpool's
especially
problem.
if you're not really interested in
Deadpool's not really
superheroes to begin
Iron Man
with,
definitely
to
got
go in
that.
here and watch these things. With Guardians of the Galaxy, the characters themselves are just, it's so funny and it's so hilarious in between these moments.
And they're all over the place. They don't really have a.
They don't have a set location and a set
Exactly.
problem. Their problem is that they have a problem with
They in Guardians of the Galaxy they run into shit. It's almost like watching Firefly. That they become heroes because of the shit that they run into and end up saying like this is a problem.
Whedon help make Guardians?
Joss Whedon?
He did
Yeah.
Avengers. I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did Guardians.
You can tell
But-
a Joss Whedon movie because of
Right.
the comedic factor that's in there. a lot of
But
the
that's the
time,
thing.
there's
But like I
levity
said,
to
but
it.
that's the thing in Firefly. Like I said, it reminds me of Firefly because, like I said, Firefly they weren't exactly heroes of stuff, but they would come across
Birds
issues
look confused.
and it would get fixed.
I know you're. It's like
I can't really get into superhero movies, but I fucking love Star Wars.
It's not really Star Wars is political,
Star Wars is a political, and you're more entranced with the universe.
Yeah.
right?
Star Wars is a political drama.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Why do you they go through
It's
it?
exactly
the
what it is.
Senate,
That's
the
all it
councils,
literally is.
the empires. It is literally just that's all Star Wars
Homer's
is.
my
mind just
God.
got blown.
He's
Actually,
gonna
wow.
He's gonna text Winston.
I actually can't say that out loud. It kind of is.
No,
Oh,
it
I know
is
that.
because
No,
look,
kinda
when you go
is,
into
it
look,
is.
Think go into
I
the
knew
first
that.
one, the separatists and
The
blockades
whole
about
beginning of
trades
the
and
whole-
stuff.
The It's all political.
Wow, it is all political.
And it was
That's
about
Like,
and
if you
it was
stop
about
and
how
look
they
back
took
and stop focusing on the stormtroopers and lightsabers for a second, then you realize just how much politics are in Star Wars.
That's all it is, and it was, and they
That's why
turned
the
everything
fucking,
into
That's
a.
why he turned the Clone Wars happened because of the fucking politics.
Keep
And
it
it was,
right.
and it
For
was a
most,
lineup, and it was, and then how he just turned this into a dictatorship
So order-
as opposed to a.
Order 1886.
Order 1886 wiped out all the Jedi's because
I thought it was just Order
of the
66.
clones.
I know.
He was making a
He
very,
replaced
very
the
bad
clones.
joke.
a terrible fucking video game.
Right.
If you,
Oh,
'cause
God,
if
I
you-
forgot that was a game.
he just exploded. So, if you look at Star Wars, if you think about it, people living within that universe, to most normal people in that universe, the Empire is just the government. And the rebels
that's all
are
it
the
is.
terrorists. They are the bad guys, technically.
Technically.
And the
Nobody
Jedi-
is really aware of Jedi and Sith. To them, that's a myth. That's just
It's
not.
a myth because it never
because
happened. Because
they
they're all
wiped
dead.
out. They wiped out, and
They're
this
all-
is years. This is
The
so
Empire
many
It's just
years
a religious.
later.
It's just
Empire is
a.
really
It's just a
bad.
nutty religious
There you
Yahoo
go.
movement to them.
Think about it. Why
That's
do you
what.
Think
Why do you
about
think
the
so many
reactions
people
of Han Solo when, Obi-Wan's training Luke on the Millennium Falcon, and then the random Imperial officer, he's like, you cling to your ancient religion. It hasn't gotten this Death Star plans, and then he's
Have
just
you
like,
not-
That's why Luke Skywalker is a fucking myth in the new movies.
Yeah, why do you think so much? Why do you think so many people are called rebels?
because he's a prophet.
Yeah.
He's a-
You never
he
paid attention to how
literally
many
is-
times they
Jesus.
said
He is a
senator
prophet.
this, senator that.
They look at him like he's
They're
Jesus.
going over war plans.
Oh
Right.
my gosh.
I just dropped the N-bomb. I'm sorry. I had to get real for a minute.
But yes,
Hashtag
that's what it is. It's
demonetized.
what it really is. No.
No, there's another
Because that's what I
video.
have to tell her. Because I'm like,
Like
this
it was
whole
gonna get
thing. It's like,
monetized.
no, it's
I'm
not
shocked. How did
it's-
that fly over your head?
See, I kind of got there was something going on, but like I never really looked that deep into it because it was just guys with lightsabers and
I
sci-fi
have to say
adventure and all
something
this
real quick
shit.
before I forget. Fuck you two. Go ahead.
Oh, fuck YouTube. Not U2. Not the band.
Oh.
The channel.
You're okay. I mean, man, fuck you two. I don't like you two either. But go ahead.
I like Bono.
He's a good person.
he's the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen that South Park episode?
I like Bono and Sting.
I
Get
like
out.
Sting.
I'm an Englishman in New York.
I like Bono, Sting, and God rest his soul, David Bowie.
Dude, but it's
Continue.
right. It's creepy
Let's
as
go to
hell.
the next thing.
I had no idea that it was.
But yeah, the movies,
that
those movies are
deep.
hella political.
That's all it was, and it just dressed it up. I mean,
Yeah.
they do this with a lot
I mean,
of stuff.
fucking Lord of the Rings is political.
And
I knew that, yeah.
I didn't know that the
actually,
It's-
theological.
I figured I found this out like last week. Fucking Sauron is the Lord of the Rings.
Seriously.
Nope, no. I was like, oh shit.
Time out, wait a minute. Holy shit.
Yes.
That eye?
Yes.
Because I don't fuck with Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
a whole
so
lot,
Wonder
but I
Woman's
never
looking for
put
that
the two
fucking
and two together.
Are you
no,
kidding me?
No, wait,
I don't
wait.
think Lord of the
And
Rings.
actually, and here's the
Okay,
truth.
yeah.
Actually,
They're
the
too
eye
long, and I'm
is
just like-
not.
I
an
bought
eye.
the collection and watched
It's
them all
actually
through.
an image
I
of
feel like I should
Sauron
do
in
that.
The extended editions.
a ring of fire
Ah.
I feel like I should
that
just
looks
watch
like
those
an
two
eye
and
itself.
I cannot.
I haven't seen the Hobbit
Like, what the
series,
fuck
though.
were in that ring?
No, but I would say that isn't probably. Like, I don't really. I could not get into Lord of the Rings.
No, that's what you have to. That's what
I
you
got into it really late. I bought the whole collection because it was a deal to get that whole Blu-ray box set with Shadow of Mordor. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna watch all the extended versions at that.
Jeez.
Yeah, bro, I did that all in one day.
I didn't. Whoa, hold on, big fella. I don't do all that now.
I did
it in 1 week.
For me, it's just like Clerks 2. Like, it's just, what? Let me just walk around.
I
Like,
was expecting that to park.
because they were talking about Lord of the Rings
Never
and
seen
Clerks.
it.
They were talking about Lord of the Rings and Clerks 2, and he was just like, Lord of the Rings 1, just walking around.
I haven't seen Clerks 1.
I haven't seen either.
I've seen the only movies I've seen in that is Dogma and Clerks 2. Dogma is one of my favorite movies ever.
Dogma's great.
I fucking love Dogma.
I love Mallrats.
I love
I
fucking
lied.
Mallrats. Love that movie.
I've seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
And
I have not seen that.
love that fucking.
I actually haven't seen that.
I've
Sierra
seen Jay and
loves that
Silent
movie.
Bad. I've seen that
Bad.
movie. I've seen Jay and
Bad. Jay and Silent Bad.
I've seen that movie so many times.
The only View
I
Askew
can
movies
quote most of that movie.
I've seen.
Oh my God, Chris.
Did you fart again? Jesus.
Here he goes.
I've seen Clerks 1 once a long time ago. And the reason I knew about Clerks 1 was because I saw the Clerks animated TV show first. And then I was like, oh, there's a movie that this was based
was
on.
an animated series.
Yeah, I saw the series
I
first.
only liked the series because of weird clips where they were like trying to drive a car and like who's driving and it was a fucking panda bear. It's like oh crazy Japanese show oh.
Dude, they had a clip show on the 3rd episode.
It's like here's our clip show.
It's like when this shit just it caught up to what was happening in the episode and doing clips from the episode they were in.
Random movie question.
Like, why are we doing
Did this Kick-Ass 2 come out and I just didn't see it?
It came out.
and you didn't see
And
it.
I also didn't see
It
it.
came out years
No one
ago.
saw it.
Kick-Ass 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
Kick-Ass 2
Years
happened.
ago.
I
Okay.
didn't see Kick-Ass 1.
Kick-Ass 1 is pretty damn good.
I like it.
How is Kick-Ass 2?
Because I enjoyed Kick-Ass
I
1.
thought Kick-Ass
anyway.
1
Maybe
was
that's why I didn't
I won't
hear
say
anything.
really good, but I liked the film. I've only seen it once. That's all I need.
I know my guilty pleasure movie.
What?
Not another teen movie.
Oh, hell no.
Is that the one with the dog with the huge balls, or is that old school?
That was
That's
old school.
Okay.
That movie, I went and saw it at the Dollar Movie Theater because
Jamie's got a gun.
It's not really.
Oh my gosh, it's got a
So
gun.
run away. Run away.
She's got a gun. Oh.
Taking the shit out of her.
Because it was that whole like trend of spoofs.
Not another X movie.
Not an X movie or scary movie was the first one.
Man, I tried to watch that
Meet
spoof
the
for
Spartans.
300 and
Meet
that
the
was some of the
Spartans.
worst shit I've ever
I
watched.
saw that movie in theaters. And
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck?
After Scary Movie
I started
3, I
trying to
couldn't
watch
watch
it. I was like,
any
after
more
I
of
got to
those
the
kinds
breakdance
of-
scene, I'm like, I'm done.
I was
can't.
done after 2.
I should've walked
That
out.
should have been a 3, 4, and a 5.
No.
3 is funny.
What?
4, 5, 6. I think even 7. No, 7's actually kind of funny.
Scary
There's
movies.
a 7?
I think so.
Well, then they split
No,
off because then
no,
there's
I think
two
it's
different
stopped.
kinds of scary movie. There's Scary Movie, and then they made they did
No, they brought Scary Movie back like real late.
well, they did Ghost Movie with some of the same actors from the Scary Movie
Like
ones, but
Paranormal Activity.
like they were
Like
spoofing
one-
Paranormal
they did
Activity
one
and shit
spoof
like
on
that, and
There's a lot of spoofs. And
Dude.
And there was
Okay,
a
it's
lot
only
of
5 of them.
Yeah, scary movie.
Only 5. Scary Movie 5 is actually not that bad, but it's pretty bad. They're all bad, but it wasn't that bad.
I think it should have stopped at 3.
They should have stopped at 1.
took my grandmother to see that first movie.
Because 3 was the last one that was actually kind of funny.
Did not know that Scary Movie was going to be that vulgar. So, because I loved watching Naked Gun and and Spy Hard and stuff like that, Spaceballs.
love
Those spoof
See,
movies.
that was Leslie Nielsen.
So when I saw a Scary Movie, I thought that's what this was gonna be, and so then, but I didn't know it was gonna be as inappropriate as it was. So I said, "Okay, Grandma, let's go to watch it with my auntie and my cousin."
Hey, did y'all
Bert-
hear?
Bert
I
has
went to
another
movies with
one.
my mom, and she was covering my eyes as soon as that dick
Naked
popped in
Gun?
that hole.
Oh, none of my eyes got covered. I just kept looking at my grandma like,
Jackie Chan is interested in making another Rush Hour,
"Yeah."
and I hope that
Oh,
does not happen.
Bert has another movie.
You reminded me.
What is it?
Spaceballs.
Oh, you like
Couldn't
Spaceballs?
get into it.
Man, I fucking
Couldn't
love.
finish it.
I love
Never
Spaceballs.
finished. I never
I
watched
got
it.
like 15 minutes into it. I'm like, this shit is
I-
cringy and bad as fuck.
Really? It's supposed to be.
I like very select parts of Spaceballs.
I didn't watch
That
it.
sounds about right.
The one thing that I really love about Spaceballs is when they're like, "What's the past and the present?" The present's now.
Russell has seen that movie so many times. Russell can quote like 95% of that movie verbatim. He's seen it that many times. I fucking love Spaceballs a lot because that was one of my first introductions into going, oh, movies can make fun of other movies.
And then they're gonna be making a second one.
Oh my god! You know what?
No,
Yes, they are.
No,
A second one, what?
I
don't want to. I don't want to. That's
You know what scary movie I hated so much, and I wanted to sue the theater for my money back? Black Christmas.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that Paris Hilton movie.
Wait, what? Paris?
What is
House of Wax.
what is Black Christmas?
It,
No, the original House of West with
Hey,
Vincent Price was
that,
good.
Because you saw that movie. That movie's semi-recent, right? Like last 6 years or something.
no.
Black Christmas.
What was?
Let's-
Because you saw one horror movie. I remember you literally called me as soon as you saw it, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Yo, I just saw this movie with I don't even remember who."
Is that the one where they wrap somebody up in the Christmas lights?
So bad, and I'm like, "Oh."
I think that's Jack Frost. That was a very confusing time. There's two movies that came out.
The Jack Frost.
They're
that was
called
the
Jack
snowman
Frost.
That was in
And
there.
then there's the
yeah.
family-friendly Michael Keaton movie, Jack
Steve, have
Frost.
you ever seen Trick or Treat?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
Yes.
Watch
I
it
should
with
make
Chris.
you watch Trick or Treat.
no.
That movie was
I watched
actually.
that
That doesn't sound.
No,
Doesn't sound.
It's a Halloween.
It's a
movie.
ho-
Black,
it's a
Black
horror
Christmas
movie.
came out in 2006. I just had to look it up.
What is
Yeah,
it? Let me take a
high
look.
school. I remember
Chris.
something.
Yeah.
She ain't got no
that
eyes.
movie, yes.
There was somebody died in that movie because a big ass icicle fell off the house and it impaled them through the head. I was like, okay, the movie was already losing me, and then that right there killed it for me.
Going just real quick onto Trick or Treat.
Yeah,
I
man.
That's how I remember it now.
I love that
I
movie
knew
because
she
I
was
love
bad for my
anthologies.
I should have known right too.
I said about that. I love anthology movies. So movies that have that multi-tiered story thing.
Love that
That's why I
shit.
think-
I love that shit.
Steve, that's why I think you'll like Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat was
because it's three
really
different
good.
movies. It's a movie with like 3 different things in it.
All
They
based,
all link up.
but it's all based on being on cassette, and it's really, really good.
It's super interesting.
It's really good.
I thought it was just gonna be a normal slasher until I watched the movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, not bad. Of course, you didn't even want to watch, what was it, Cabin in the Woods, because you was like, this movie is shit.
Cabin
Then
in the
you
Woods
saw that
was
last
actually.
scene,
Then
and
the
you were
twist in
like,
Cabin in the Woods is why didn't see because the marketing doesn't you don't think about that at all.
like,
No.
tell you shit.
Oh
And
my
then you
god, I'm
watch
trying to
it,
remember
like,
the name of this movie. My god.
Oh, Cabin in the Woods. I went to the
I
movies to see
love that
that,
movie.
and it was very
the name of this
unexpected, and I
horror movie real
hated
quick.
it. So maybe I should watch it again.
Here's the crazy thing about
I
it.
was like,
Cabin in the Woods actually ended how like Angel did, considering that Josh did that one too, and it ended a lot like how Angel ended.
Excuse me. I love Dog.
That's what that movie was
I
called.
love you.
So
Angel, the
my,
TV series?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
He said Angel. I was like, Dogma was a great fucking film.
you know it's not a great film. It's this horror movie
You
called
didn't say
Hush.
God bless you when I sneezed. Hey.
Hush.
Hush
That
was terrible.
No, wasn't. No,
Are you kidding me?
Wait, the one that recently came. No. Okay. I was
Yes,
thinking-
last year with that deaf girl in the house.
No, not that one. See, I was thinking about Don't Breathe.
Yeah, you think
No.
about Don't Breathe.
Never mind.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Never mind.
No. My goddaughter, I let her pick a movie. We was all sitting there. She was like, "Let's watch Hush." I'm like, "What the hell is this?" She was like, "It's good." That was some of the worst bullshit I've ever seen in my life. It was about this girl. She was deaf and she was living in this little cabin house out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
This dude tried to break in the house. Well, he did and stole her phone or some shit.
Yeah, I remember Becky
And-
chose that movie.
And then she locked the house. He was trying to get
Of course
in.
Becky chose that movie.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to watch it. If we just watched that shit, I'm
Like-
like, all right, this movie was okay.
I'm like, this guy, like, you trying to break in the house and you have a knife and a crossbow of all things of trying to break it out. And then you tried to get on the roof. You lost. Not only did she knock you off the roof, she stole your crossbow, nigga. She deaf. How? How?
It actually doesn't make any sense. But,
Like,
I mean, hey, I like bad movies that don't make sense either. That's why I kind of like Dark Knight Rises.
Who's seen Dead Girl?
Well, no, Steve,
Because
I
I've
like that
mentioned
movie
this
because
before.
it's
Who's
bad.
seen Dead Girl?
I've never heard of it.
Like, none of the stuff in that movie makes any fucking sense.
No, there's a lot of leaps of logic in. What sucks is I first saw
what
Dark
banged
Knight
me, right?
Rises, and then I liked it in theater. Then
I liked it,
the
and
further
then
you
you
go
watch it
away
again,
from
you're
it,
like-
the more you realize this movie isn't that good.
You watch it and you're like, oh man, that movie was really entertaining. And you're like,
Which one was
none
Dark
of
Knight
that shit-
Rises?
The
With
last
Bane.
one
Last
with
one.
Bane.
Like, there was like,
Bane.
I know that you're.
I am Gotham's reckoning. I try to do Bane and go into Yoda.
I'm Gotham's reckoning.
Because it's like, where the
The
hell?
whole origin story of
I
Bane
didn't like
was
him as
screwed up
Batman.
in that movie for one.
You'll just have to
I'm like-
imagine the
Like,
fire.
first of all, that was not Bane. Let's just put that out there right now.
I
That's,
thought the look was cool, but I was
Yeah.
like, that's not Bane.
yeah, exactly. No.
Until he broke his back, and I was like, well, there's the
Yeah,
Bane.
they got that part
You got,
right.
to
But
see,
but-
you got to see
They don't
Bane
want
with
it.
the bat when he broke
never
his
used
back,
Venom.
and one time, and the only one time when he hit that and it broke, and he went nuts and he busted a hole in that pillar.
oh yeah,
That was the only time that you got like
That
those
was-
are the two times
yeah.
you got to see like actual Bane.
But what's
At that
weird
point.
about that whole thing, I was like, why did they pick Bane? You know, the first one was Scarecrow, and it was like very loosely Ra's al Ghul as well. And You're
Right.
like, okay, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
And then it's Joker, and it's like, that makes sense.
Two-Face.
And then Two-Face, it's like,
Right.
that was kind of random, but all right, let's sprinkle him in there. And then it's just all Bane.
yeah, like
All Bane, and then Talia al Ghul at the last minute. And you're like,
Yeah, the Talia al Ghul thing.
But-
And there's a lot of leaps of. It's like, how much time has passed here?
where's the time?
Where's the time?
Yeah.
First off, something that came
that's
to
a
my
good question.
attention in an episode of Game Grumps, they were talking about how bad the movie is and how much Eager Raptor likes the film, and I didn't even think about it. but they said something where it's like, yeah, I can't remember who he was talking about. It's like, yeah, I know who you are. Yes, I am Batman. And he just openly told him. And it's like, what the fuck? Why would you just tell somebody that? You don't just randomly tell them that you're Batman. That doesn't make sense. You're like, no, I'm not Batman.
See, this was going. They were going to
He
the
just
time.
did it.
They were going
That's
into
bad
the
writing,
time
and that's
where
hilarious writing. It was like
The most entertaining part of that movie for me is when the football field exploded.
oh no, that whole scene.
That shit was wrong.
they were.
It was even better because it was like a representation of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I fucking loved every moment of it. Fuck them anyway. Go
But like I
ahead.
said, it was terrible because, like I said, this is the
Wow.
time that they just started trying to
Such a
fit
beautiful voice.
too much into
What?
those type of movies. They started trying to
Like the Spider-Man 3
Pat-
debacle of.
Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
where they tried to just fit like all of these villains.
I
into
wanted to
there
like
to
Amazing
do
Spider-Man
this.
2 so bad. I wanted to like it so bad.
I did, but the thing was,
I kinda
they
like it.
I kind
just-
of liked it too.
Kind of.
Yeah.
they pushed
I like
too
when Gwen
much
Stacy
into
dies.
it.
Yes, I was waiting for that.
'Cause that
For
bitch
2
hit-
movies. I'm
that
like,
bitch
this.
hit that ground.
I was like, oh, this bitch gonna die.
Oh,
You-
and here's the thing: Mary
And
Jane
his
was in that
face-
movie.
Yeah.
In what movie?
In Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Mhm.
there was actually a deleted scene where they actually had Mary Jane, where he met Mary Jane in that movie, and that was the first
Matter of
one.
fact, you know what, Bird? You should see the new Spider-Man movie.
Homecoming.
I should.
You will like
I
Homecoming
enjoy it.
because it's not an
Homecoming-
first of all, it's not an origin story.
I don't think you should watch Homecoming.
Why not?
I think we like Homecoming. I do not think Bird will like Homecoming.
Why not?
Because it starts out random. And we only know it because we like Spider-Man.
Oh, because we've seen him in Civil War, and so we have
He's
a
gonna be like,
touchstone.
why the fuck do I care about
Honestly,
him walking
Bird,
around
it-
not doing anything?
There are certain superhero movies you could get into. It just depends on what it is. Like I don't like fucking Thor. I don't like the
How do
first
you
Captain
feel
America
about
movie.
A superhero named Orgasmo.
Trying to help this man.
And his Orgasmorator.
Stunt cock.
Stunt cock.
There's a film about a
And his sidekick, Chota Boy.
Is this film about
a man.
this guy created a gun that could
Shoot
shoot
orgasm.
orgasms. It would make you have an orgasm, and it was so powerful of an orgasm,
It'll
would
knock you
stun
out.
you.
Nigga, is that Lupin?
I'd be
the
damned
Third?
if anybody shot me
That
with
That
that
is
gun.
Lupin the Third.
Yep. They put Lupin the Third back on.
Lupin.
But I think
the
like
Third.
Iron Man 1, I think is a great movie. Iron Man 2 and 3, not so much. Thor, I don't care
Iron
about
Man
Thor.
2.
Yeah.
But I really like the like
Dark World
Avengers.
was shit.
Dark World.
Dark World
Well.
was shit.
It was
It's really
okay.
hard trying to figure out a good
Wasn't that bad, it was
superhero
better than
movie
the
for
first
you.
I like fucking Avengers.
Winter
I think
Soldier.
Avengers is great. I think Avengers stands on its
Winter
own.
Soldier.
I think Winter Soldier, Avengers, Deadpool.
Deadpool is really fun. You
Here's
should
the bad
definitely
part.
watch
Deadpool
Deadpool.
just had a bad
Because
villain,
Civil
but other
War
than
was actually Captain America. So if you actually go into Winter
Oh.
Soldier, Civil War was not that bad.
I watched Civil War recently because
And you,
I finally read it recently, and I
Oh,
was
man,
like,
watch you do
this was a mistake.
No,
and I was like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why did you do that?
I read Civil War way back when Civil War
When it
came
came
out.
out.
Right, so I was there. I was like,
And I
that
wanted
wasn't
to, but I
fresh.
never did.
That wasn't fresh on me when I did that. So when they did this, I was like, okay, I can be accepting of this. You cannot jump
man.
and read Civil War and then say I'm gonna
no.
watch
And plus,
this.
it was never gonna. It could never happen like
No,
that in the
I mean,
movies.
It wasn't,
And
the,
so.
Hell no.
it wasn't the fact that it wasn't like the comic book. It was just the fact that they really should not have done that.
They have
Watching
it's too
Civil
many.
War, I was like, this was an idea they should not have done.
It's
Like,
too many
why-
elements missing.
Okay, well,
it's
so why
way
you say
too
that?
many
Well, I
elements.
mean,
because all
that's to be
superheroes-
expected
because
to
everyone's
translate
gonna see
comic
it.
to movie. They're not gonna get every single element
because-
right.
no,
Because
they
it's
don't-
Like,
they
for
don't
what
have-
they had, they shouldn't have thought. Let's put Civil War in there.
So I haven't.
They are missing too little. We're talking like, whoa, what Civil War the movie was literally like 2 issues of what the Civil War actually is.
Yeah,
Right,
the problem.
right.
the-
No, I-
What happened? So
what happened?
Well-
well, first off, it's the Civil War in the comics started off with people that were unrelated to anything that happened in the movie.
Somebody blew up
And
8
they
city
killed, like,
blocks of
yeah.
New York because of his ability.
because he
The
got-
Sokovia Accord, it was not the Sokovia Accords. It was a registration act against people with powers. Period.
Right.
and it was like okay,
And
then
it
when
was
I
like,
read that, I'm
ooh.
like, so they just said that's the reason why I was only upset because they took a loose
And then they-
adaptation and said, let's put.
And
it
then
yeah,
they
but
started,
you're
and then they
confused,
started
Bert.
assessing your threat level because it wasn't
But-
the thing going, we're gonna do this. It was your threat level on how terrible was your power and could we allow you to be out.
We have a confused bird.
Mm.
What's that?
Isn't that the plot of one of the X-Men movies? Where like there's like a mutant registration act or something?
That's
like that?
X-Men.
That's
Three.
X-Men in general.
Yeah.
That's X-Men in
Was that
general.
in 3?
It was an X.
They stressed that.
That's-
It was in
all
that-
of them.
No,
It's just
they stressed it in every. They
this
stressed
is a
it in
big
two
this is a
modes.
big
No,
thing.
they
Period.
started in one because they had Senator Kelly.
Yeah, he was
pressing
pushing
for
it
They
hard.
I
started
was
it.
thinking of the
It
scene
start,
with Beast in the.
Good call, bro.
they were no when Beast was there. That's when he was trying. When they were trying to
When
get
they
the
were trying to-
mutual.
Because
on
Hank,
it.
Hank is so smart. They was like, we got to get the smartest person we know, but he still got to look like a freak.
And
So-
here's in lies the rub with trying to make a Civil War movie is that since Marvel Studios can't use anything to do with X-Men, pretty much.
Honestly, Steve, it has nothing to do with that.
So
There's just too many
Yes.
properties that are not apparent in film. That if I showed you this random character, they'd be like, why the fuck is he here?
And
There were
you-
villains in Civil War.
Right.
Yeah, there were
Working with
villains.
the Allies.
Because
That's
they-
And that's what made
because-
Civil War so interesting.
Because
because
it was
Vel-
everybody
because-
working together because it was a
because-
joint problem.
So, but
And then here's the thing. And then the government actually signed on villains as
help to-
aggressors to help that, and they were the actual like we're here to help this and everything.
And then some of them broke off with it because they
And
were like,
fucking-
you know what, we don't agree
Because
with
fucking
it.
Doom and everything jumped all over that shit
And
in there.
motherfucking Punisher.
And
my
Punisher-
favorite part of that whole series.
And
was
so-
like,
and
it was
so-
like, okay, I brought in Castle. Why the fuck would you bring in Castle?
And see,
he's a loose cannon. We can't have. He's like, hey guys, I'm cool. A villain. I don't even remember who the fucking villain is. He's like, you know, guys, I'm reformed. I feel like we need to work together. Bow! He
and
shoots his
wait,
fucking head off.
wait, and
He's
wait.
like, what the fuck
And here's
is that?
and this is
Get the
and,
fuck out.
and this is where Agent Venom even
That's
came.
all he does. He was in there for like one book. He shot somebody. He was like, no, you gotta get the fuck out.
And this is when Venom even came into play. Because even Venom,
I was like,
they
this is the
had
best book.
Venom under control. Venom was even on that shit.
And everybody.
Yes.
I mean,
So
see,
Venom was on
just
that
like
shit.
going back to what he said, because of licensing, we're never ever going to see everything
That
kind
story
of fruition like it's
done.
supposed to be. But like I was talking with a buddy of
It
mine,
would have worked better as an animated film because you can do
yeah,
whatever
a
you
lot of these films would have, but like a buddy of
But you
mine
would
at
have
work, we
a
were talking.
premiere for that shit.
We were talking about this, and we were like, people got to understand these superhero movies are never going to hold all the way true to the comics. But
that
we
was-
agreed. Well, the thing is, what we agreed on is that if you're going to do this, if you're going to take stuff from comics, make sure if you're going to try to do your own twist on the story, make sure the origin of everything is correct at least. If you're going to do anything,
But see, and that's where they messing up because like
Yeah.
let's go into Wanda's origin here.
Jesus,
Let's,
that-
right, we're gonna throw that in because Wanda completely all fucked up.
Oh, God,
she
yeah.
is all fucked
Right.
up in this movie.
Who's wrong, dude?
Scarlet Witch.
yeah.
Oh,
Now I'm saying fucked
Oh,
up
you wanna
because
talk
what?
about-
Pietro was worse
because
because it was two of
it
them.
was two of them. No, not even fucked up mentally, but we're talking like how they fucked it up because Wanda is to
that
get.
they died.
She's still around.
I'm sorry, Quicksilver died.
He
That
had
too.
to because of licensing. They literally had to kill him
Because
off
they
because of
have him
licensing.
in. They have him
Which
in.
is stupid.
Yeah.
And that's the
Two
thing.
different
But
fucking-
see, Wanda's power
He's an
that they
apparent
have
fact
never
of the
touched
Avengers.
on,
Yes.
they make her like a psychic in what
Right.
the movies are now. Wanda is magic,
Right.
which Doctor Strange is still fucking baffled to this day.
Doctor Strange is
of
a great movie, man.
Great.
Yes, it
Watch
is.
that is.
good movie.
Visually is fucking organic.
It's an acid trip.
Watch
It's,
Doctor
it's
Strange.
like
I
like
like
watching
that.
Inception.
That was one of the few movies I loved watching in 3D.
That can stand by
That
itself
was-
without watching
that
any
was
other
a
movies.
few.
Yes,
And I love watching
because
it.
I don't like 3D. I like that one.
It's
That was
very
amazing.
few.
But see, that's the thing. Doctor Strange is baffled on her power because she is magically grown, and it's like you weren't taught magic. You just exist.
Holding a thought.
Oh, okay.
So okay, well I'll
thought you
save
were
this
trying to
because I
guide
was
back to
gonna
the
go
rails.
into that. But go ahead.
It was just kind of a side thing. I've never seen a 3D movie that isn't like one of those super cheesy. Like
Oh, I hate 3D movies. I don't
The
watch
Only
them.
3D movies that I like legitimately in
No, you're
3D,
good.
and I was like, I would love to watch this in 3D again, is Avatar and Doctor Strange.
I saw one 3D movie, and I still have no desire to see them because the context thing is like, oh, I can see these, but my head is like, why? And the only one I saw in 3D was Saw, and that was bad as a film.
That was horrible.
And it was funny because I was in the
no.
back of the theater
Oh,
and I could see people's reactions. And my God, I'm like, this is some cheesy crap. But I was laughing because people were like, oh my God, it came at me. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
I have seen a few movies. I've seen Green Lantern.
Okay.
which was very unfortunate because the movie was already just fucking bad. To
Wait,
begin with.
that came out in
so
3D?
did I.
It did. Fucking Russell talked me
Ow.
into it. I saw Green Lantern. Saw.
Resident Evil. I remember you saying
Yeah,
that.
I saw. I was getting to.
TV
Oh, I'm
and
getting.
glasses. I'm gonna have to go find
I
it. on
saw
Blu-ray.
Avatar.
I have it. I have that too, and I have Guardians on it for 3D, but I've never watched it in 3D.
Avatar was my first 3D movie.
Avatar
And I
was
thought,
one of the
okay,
greatest
this
3D
is
movies
interesting.
ever made.
Then I saw Green Lantern, terrible in 3D. I saw fucking Avatar,
I saw Transformers
horrible in fucking 3D.
That was bad.
That was.
And I saw Jurassic Park, no, Jurassic World in 3D.
That was
I
bad.
like Ant-Man.
Never again.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man is also
surprised the shit out of me.
because it's really a heist movie and less of a superhero movie.
I think Ant-Man was like
Paul Rudd is
almost as hilarious as the Guardians movies.
Yes, it's right up there.
Ant-Man was like almost as funny as Spider-Man actually was.
Because
Paul
Paul
Rudd,
Rudd,
come on.
Huh?
Which Spider-Man?
The latest.
I like him as an
Oh,
actor
okay,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's hilarious.
They had a very similar feel
Yeah.
to that whole thing, especially with the whole I really don't know what I'm doing, and I'm
I-
kind of
yeah.
Yeah, we can find
off
some
this
movies for
on
Bert to
this.
enjoy.
And see, that part made it a little more
once you say
relatable,
Guardians, I
like
was
saying,
like,
like,
oh,
it was kind
cool.
of
We
a
have
human
the same
side, like,
favorite
damn, I'm really
superhero.
trying to figure this
That's
is how it would
very
be if we all
It's
got
excellent,
superpowers.
yeah.
We'd be like, man, what the
And
hell am I
that's what I
supposed to do?
loved about
Especially
Spider-Man
as far
because
as
he.
Marvel goes.
This is the one thing I loved about the
And
new
then there's
Spider-Man
Deadpool.
movie. They never put him in a situation where he could not web sling, and when he hit that field
Right.
and couldn't do something, that was like that had never been done in any Spider-Man movie.
Oh,
And
yeah,
watching that was like John Wick, because watching him reload web cartridges in that, you saw that often. It wasn't like
that's
I
weird.
always had that.
Yeah.
It's weird because like other because Spider-Man has so many different origins and like ways that they.
Yeah.
Because you have the Tobey
Tobey
Maguire like in the comic where he's like a
straight out the
mutant.
penis.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Amazing Spider-Man, which was a web cartridge, and then you have this Spider-Man, which is back into web cartridges.
They
But
need to just say fuck it and put. I always fuck up his name. I was gonna say the Human Spider, but he's not the Human Spider. I can never remember the Spider-Man.
the Man Spider,
Yeah.
when he actually went into the,
Yeah.
but see that
He's
was.
got 8 arms
And see, that was the
shit.
one
Oh.
thing. And wait, that was the one thing that I
Put that
hated
in
about
the
that, which
No,
I would never
no.
get my
That's
real
classified as
story
horror.
because I'd never get the X-Men in there. Because remember, everybody had to come in. They had to go to the X-Men to actually take him down.
Oh yeah.
In that.
That's right.
Hell,
They-
I'd watch
I
Batman.
remember that.
Speaking
I'd
of
watch
X,
a Batman movie if it had Man-Bat in it because I'd be like, that was
I
hell.
forgot all about that.
Remember, since we're on
I need Catman personally, but go ahead.
Since we're dude, if they
Catman
had
was
new
that-
if they had the newer Catman,
Oh, it's
man.
new Catman.
not the shitty
Oh,
Catman.
that was the shit. That's the one I think of. The shitty
I
Catman.
want that badass Catman. who's
Catman
like,
was
badass.
man.
But
Yeah.
into
Old
we're all
school,
gamers. I want to hear
old
this. I
whoop
want to
your
hear this.
So, as soon as I said Man-Bat, the only thing that popped into my head was fucking Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, that goddamn
I remember the
Jump
I was
scare.
watching you.
Oh.
I hate that
And you were
mission.
like,
Oh.
like,
Side
there's
mission.
like a creature who looks like a bat. I don't know it. Ah! You're like fucking
Right.
shit, man. You fly
Scared
off.
the shit out of
No,
me.
that thing came was right. I was like, oh,
Dude, that
wow.
scared the shit out of me. I was like, holy fuck.
wow, yeah, that was
And then I caught his ass and threw him in jail, and then he
Oh,
escaped.
well, I have my only
I hated that side mission.
I was like, okay.
my big thought about
Man-Bat.
like Civil War. The big problem with having that
Oh, yeah, I forgot we
happen.
was talking about that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go back to it real quick. My big problem with
I'll
Civil
explain-
War.
I'll explain mine after you explain yours. So go ahead.
I was still going into my Wanda thing. Go ahead.
We're all off the rails.
My big problem with Civil War is because I don't really care that it can't do what's in the comic book because it's a movie universe. This movie universe, do whatever hell you want. Problem is, they don't make it make sense there. The events that occur for the Civil War to happen are not great enough to split the Avengers up the way they do. All because of one man and with this the
Well, I don't
jump
know.
in logic to them disagreeing on these makes no sense. And then even like in the first movie you have these aliens who come in and you stop it. How can you possibly blame the Avengers?
Right, because and that was it. Yeah, going into that. Yep.
See, Steve literally just said what I was about to say because that's my whole reason for not liking that movie as much. It is not like he said. It's not anything to do with the licensing or the fact that there's less characters. It's the fact that the idea of Civil War in the
Doesn't make
comics
sense.
was like, okay, it makes sense. But when they did it in the movie, I was like, it's
It doesn't-
prevalent,
because-
but it doesn't make sense.
Because like I said,
It
in
was
the comic-
out of nowhere.
No, because in the comic it was like, okay, I understand this. You want people to say, this is what I can do. and then for them to say, "You're too dangerous."
And
That's
Steve Rogers
that's
just left. He was just like, I'm going.
They
He didn't
pretty
fight
much
to get his friend released and become an outlaw. He just left. He's like, I'm gonna do
he's
what
like
I want to.
he's like I'm not doing this. He's like I don't feel.
That sounds like
One
a
on top of that,
Rocky story.
for what he's done in service to the country, should not have mattered for him.
It was the movie's only cool because it's like we would never expect to see that happen.
Right.
granted that this was really
But
just a
it's
vehicle
still-
to introduce Black Panther and set that movie up.
But it's still a bad. I think Civil War is kind of a bad film.
I
I don't think it's great by any margin. I just think that most people think it's not bad because they remember the high spots of action.
Right.
But if you
If you
If you
really
break it
don't
down,
break
you
it
find a
down
lot of
to-
problems.
Because like I said, when he comes there, he's like, okay, New York, Sokovia,
because Winter Soldier is fucking.
okay,
Winter Soldier is
the,
awesome.
the Triskelion. Well, you can't fucking blame that on them anyway because it's
It
like,
had
well,
nothing to do
well,
with it. That was
Hydra.
Hydra this whole time.
Right, that was Hydra. You can't blame anything on the aliens because it's like, well, everybody was fucking with that Tesseract in the beginning.
Yeah,
Everybody had their hands over
the,
that.
like
The only one that they can be blamed for is Ultron.
yeah, and fucking
That's
that's
thing.
just Iron Man. That's Tony
And
Stark's
see,
fault.
and going to
I know, it's
that,
not
they
the Avengers.
use and
They
that
tried to
right,
help
that
themselves.
right there is what they used to build that tension between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, which I think was stupid. That's where they screwed up.
And
They
then,
used that to build
and
that Civil
for-
War.
And for the whole, and for what happened at the end of that, for everything that has gone on and stuff, Tony had no reason to fly off the handle, even understanding that he's indoctrinated and he didn't have any control over that.
Which
Right.
is why you shouldn't watch that movie. I don't think you would watch it.
Granted,
I
that
hate that you guys
airport
tore
scene,
that movie apart.
the airport scene is really fucking cool and fun.
The airport,
I mean,
And,
go
and let's,
watch
and
it
let's
if
be
you
honest.
want to,
Let's be
because-
perfectly honest here. 15 years ago, we'd have never thought we'd have any of these movies, and would they be this damn good? Period.
No, I still want that '80s Captain America. No, I want that '80s Iron Man.
Like 15, 20
let's
years
get this
ago.
Spider-Man with the black box.
These movies are we are really spoiled at this point, honestly, because these movies are still a billion times better than the
just want my
superhero
Shazam
movies
movie.
of years ago. Like so much better. So we're really just spoiled at
coming.
this point.
It is. It's
And I mean-
actually on its way.
And I mean, we could stay spoiled, but I mean, we can't do it.
But I mean, but like I said, when you actually do it, and
Oh, yeah, we had one more
they
thing to
dress
talk
it
about.
up
Let's
with
talk about that.
they dress it up with so
As
much
soon as Matt
action.
finishes his statement.
They dress it up with so much action and glory and everything, and it's great to say this is my character because I'm happy to see Hawkeye on the field.
Yeah, but you're losing that development.
But then when
underneath.
you actually, like I said, when you
It's not
actually
even the
sit and
development.
watch,
It's
when you
just-
sit and watch what the story actually is written, and then like him going into and then reading this comic and everything, and then realizing that you're like I said, like we just broke it down where it got
Yeah,
how we
Because
get
I'm-
to this.
Because I don't have that mindset of those comic book like nerds who are like it's not like the comic. No,
'Cause
I still
I'm
go in like it has to
Exactly.
be a good film.
Right,
It has to be a
No,
good
like I
film.
and
said,
let, give me some
One-
stuff.
one.
The origin
stuff
has
to
to,
make
for me, the origin of everything has to be at least right.
So I'm just like
Like origin of character, the origin of how everything
If the
got.
origin is good and enjoyable, then I'm like cool. But the problem is with Civil War, I was like,
yeah, it's
it
not
does
that.
not work.
Yeah, it's
Because
not that.
After reading it, it's just too big. It's like trying to fit a balloon, a blown up balloon, inside a thimble.
That's why they literally have it spaced out between
Right.
people under like.
That's why
this is.
they
this
should have
pro-
literally said, "Fuck it, we'll do what we're going to do and just make it 2 movies."
Oh,
they were
see.
going to make it 2 parts.
Yep.
They actually could have done like they did with Captain America. They did Captain America Civil War. Do Iron Man Civil War.
They could have done that.
They could have let
That-
you
I would've
brought
worked with
you
that.
brought Spider-Man into the fold right now. Spider-Man Civil War. You had all of that set up right now for
They
that.
could've
They could have
done
just
worse.
done, they could have
Just
just
gotta
done
go
that.
play Ultimate
Yeah.
Alliance 2 and get that taste out of
They would
my
have had so much more in that.
What's Bird doing?
It's like because you guys are all speaking on this movie as somebody or as people that have read the comics. I haven't.
Oh, neither have I.
Neither have I. I want to read
me
the
and
comics.
Matt and you have right. You've read
I
Civil War,
want to
right?
read.
I am
Civil
only
War.
I
the
haven't read the whole
movie.
thing.
The movie I can
But
inform
I
you
know
on.
enough to
Yeah.
understand.
There's
like,
certain point.
And I've read all of Civil War, and I know Matt has.
Yeah,
read it.
it's like I'm more of a DC guy, so I can better inform you on like Batman versus Superman and how they thought they could combine like 3 different comic book stories into one fucking movie.
Sure you can, as long as Martha exists.
That was
literally did that because it took so much more than we got the same mom as each other to.
Why did you
Wait,
say that
yeah.
name?
But even if you just watch Civil War without knowing anything about the comic books, it doesn't matter what they did with the what they couldn't use with certain characters.
Yeah,
what they've
that's
done
the
with
point
the
that
characters
we're
they could
I think the
use
end all
is the
be-
mistake.
I
They
think
could have
the-
done it better with what they had.
I think the end all be all for all of these movies is that from a non-comic book perspective, all of the movies are entertaining.
Yeah,
at least.
It's
Sure.
entertaining.
They are
Except
very
for maybe
entertaining.
Thor 1.
The fight scenes in Civil War
They're
fucking
great.
entertaining.
Yeah,
And the
Like,
little
all
moments
the
between the
movies are
characters
very-
and the little lines.
And if
It's just
All the
getting
movies
to
are
there
entertaining.
and
It's
the
just,
bit-
but it's
and the
just
bits in
if
between.
you can't go into the expectation like we
Hi,
have
Tony.
of
This was my son.
of-
He died.
of thinking this is going to be
Oh.
I don't like what
like
we're doing, guys.
directly
We're loose
related to the
cannons.
comics. If you do, it's going to ruin the movie.
because I've said this before and numerous times I've said this that when I mentioned about anime, like what I said about Death Note, anime people versus movie people. There are comic book people versus movie people.
Yeah.
And you have to have something because we can sit there and we can read numerous comics and get to a certain point and everything because we're reading the story of it. Well, when you're watching a movie, you have to have that bring in. So you have to layer stuff on top of it to keep this part of them interested because it's all visual effect.
Mhm.
You can you just reading this and soaking this in. And
Right.
like, oh shit, this is amazing when
Yeah.
you get
That's
to
what I
that
said. There's
next
only so much
slide.
you can fit into a movie
Yeah,
from the
you
comics.
can- I mean, you
it's
can-
so much more in depth in the comics than it is in movies. They can't sit there like let's make a Lord of the Rings long 4 or 5 hour movie about
Your average Tom, Dick, and Harry can go in there.
Nobody's gonna sit there and watch
Popcorn.
that.
Right.
No.
Enjoy the movie.
All the superhero movies, to be completely honest, and then we gonna move the fuck on because I'm kind of sick of talking about it. They're just popcorn flicks. The same way that I look at okay, it's gonna sound really gross, but I don't like them. But the Transformers movies,
They're terrible.
They're also popcorn flicks.
I literally just tweeted out, I fucking love Transformers 2.
Oh my
Super.
god! Oh my god!
You know what? No, I will give him
That's-
that. No, I will give him that. I will base it on why because some of that action. Prime was a
incomprehensible.
beast.
It's
in that
incomprehensible,
movie.
though.
And Prime was a beast.
It's filmed
in that
horribly.
Movie.
You
can't tell what he's doing.
I have 2 problems with that movie that made me say I hate this entire film. Number 1,
This wins.
robot balls.
I knew that was
That
coming.
was the first thing that popped in my head when you said
The
that.
pee pee poo poo caca humor.
Number 2, those racist
Fucking robots.
Those were the
Oh
those were
my
two major
god.
ones.
That
As
is.
soon as I saw
li-
that movie, I
No,
became
here's the thing.
instantly offended.
When I literally watched that,
I'm
I
like,
usually watched the scene in the
I
woods,
haven't even seen the newest Transformers.
and when they
yet.
juice
I-
Prime
that's what I
up
saw was
with that
Asian
other
stuff.
with the Decepticons
I
pieces,
was-
and
I
she
haven't
comes
seen
into
last
that.
night.
I was so
I don't
bored
want to.
watching that movie.
Those are the
I'm
only two
done.
parts I'll watch.
I'm very done with Transformers.
Why do you
I don't like them.
why do you like
Jangled
Transformers
mess.
I
2?
remember going in and seeing it in the movie theaters. And walking away like, that movie was fucking great.
It was a popcorn flick.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
top.
happens.
It's
I
top
went to the
level
theaters to see
and
that
going in there and enjoying it.
It was just action on top action.
I don't know who I
I didn't like the
That's
action.
another one of
Might
those.
have.
That's another one of those. There's movie Transformers people, and then there's those who grew up on
I
Transformers.
did
G1.
watch G1 and I do like Transformers Prime and all that, but I mean, even just as a film
I
on
only
its
just
own,
played the toys and watched Beast Wars.
the game.
Hey.
Yeah, even just on its own for me on its own as a film, I don't think it stands up. The writing, I
Oh
think
no,
is
I don't think it's good
not very
because of
good.
Robot
The-
balls and racist
I don't,
twins.
and even as an action movie, I don't think it stands up because I don't think it's filmed well.
This is the problem that they
It's
keep
not.
doing in the Transformers movie. It's not a Transformers movie. They put too much of human interaction into that to be a Transformers movie. Even when you go into that, humans were in Transformers, yes, but
But
it
they
was
were
a
never
lot-
the-
Not
But they
them.
were never the main.
Yeah, because they tried to put a
focus
love story
on
in.
that. Right, and there's never a Transformers movie because they have too much interaction. For as much robot stuff as they actually do put into it, you could give me a full blown
Now,
Transformer movie.
In my honest opinion, I haven't seen Last Night yet, but Age of Extinction, I think, is the movie that ruined the entire series. And
I mean,
What's weird is that
and-
movie had really good parts, and
It
then I was
did.
like, this movie's
Was that
It
three?
did.
It was long
It-
as
it-
shit.
It was.
Oh, I gave
but-
up. I stopped after
and
three.
I was
So
like, it was
Last
cool.
Is that the
but
one
Age-
with Mark Wahlberg?
I thought that was boring
Yes.
too.
But Age of Extinction
it's
ruined
boring,
everything
but it's
for me
good.
because of
You
the
got-
origin of Galvatron. That killed the entire series for me, right
Due to
there.
the simple fact that they have not even brought Unicron into the picture after all of
Exactly.
this time is bullshit.
He was
And he
like
should have been
loosely mentioned, I think.
To be fair, the people who go see these don't know who or what a Unicron is, so they're not really.
What's a
But they changed
That's why
Galvatron into a
That's
Optimus
the same
Prime
thing with
clone.
the Marvel movies. Some people don't know who everybody is. So I said it's
Yeah.
I don't know names.
it's the movie
Robo
people,
one
and then it's the
and
comic
Robo
and fans of
And
the
here's the
original
thing:
like
the
content.
sad part about it is when I saw the previews for that Transformer movie, I swear to God, I was like, "Oh Jesus, that one who turned into a gun." I was like, "That's Galvatron. Why the hell was that not Galvatron? Did he not transform into a gun? Did he not change his face into a gun and turn into a giant cannon?"
Even Transformers 1 was fucking annoying. I mean, fucking Jazz's racist ass. See, that's my
You see
problem.
what happened to his ass real
Well,
quick.
Here's my problem with those Transformers movies. I feel like Michael Bay hates black people.
Well, to be fair, that was Jazz from the
even
'80s.
in
That's just what it. That's who he is.
Hey, I don't give a fuck.
He was voiced by Scatman Crothers. That is Jazz.
And you know what
Jazz
happened?
Moon Base
If he wasn't that, I'd be salty.
He
You
was
know
like,
what
Jazz.
happened? He got ripped in half.
He did.
And you know what's bad? I knew he doesn't die that quickly.
No.
Right,
So
Jazz
I
was
was like,
Jazz
Jazz was
a
there the whole
main,
time.
a main
Yeah.
part
Man,
of
like,
it.
oh, now you can fight. And I was like, okay.
And he didn't do anything.
If
He
you want
didn't
a
do anything
piece
that
of me,
entire time. He literally
I
got
want
snatched in half.
to.
And I was like, okay.
Michael
this
Bay
is
was just
bad.
like,
And then
okay,
it got-
I don't get all the main Transformers. I know everybody likes. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I
And
want
then
to
he
do.
made Bumblebee like the hot shot. And I was like, Bumblebee.
RC. He fucked them up. RC twins were motorcycles. I was like, RC was a race car.
A
pink race car.
Yeah, just
There's
And I
only
was
been
like,
one motorcycle in the whole
whoa.
Transformers movie.
you know. So, but it doesn't matter because those things do amazing
I don't like
internationally.
Soundwave either.
They do.
That's my favorite Transformer.
You know what?
Michael Bay
I
movies.
appreciate. I
I
can
love Michael Bay's movies.
No. From the visual concept of what they were doing with Soundwave, Satellite was the next best thing because that's what he actually did. Instead of being a giant boombox, Satellite, I
No,
actually
you have
did.
to make him a CD.
Their whole entire art style is what's really screwed them from the very beginning for me visually. Because when I first saw these Transformers and they first announced the first movie, I'm like, oh, these look. Because when they said they were gonna have
a lot
to,
of moving parts. On them,
because they
that's why.
said they were gonna have to make it where these real cars make sense as robots, and I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna be good. And they showed them like, oh no, this isn't good.
What's funny is this makes me. I like I said again. I want to stop talking about these fucking films. What's funny is these make me think of the Turtles movies that Michael Bay recently did, and I think me and you watched the first one, and I was like, we were like, it wasn't that bad.
I actually enjoyed it.
I actually like
Then,
both of
I
them.
didn't see the
second
second
one.
one. I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah,
I
me
haven't
neither.
seen
Me
the
neither.
movie. If y'all want to take a peek,
You told
I
me you
do
don't want
wanna-
to watch that movie because you watch it all the fucking time.
I would. If y'all want to watch it, I mean, I have no.
I would love to
issue
watch
with
it.
The second one I
with
thought
that.
was
I will
good.
put it
I
on if
enjoyed
you
it.
guys want
And
to
I was
see
like,
it.
'cause
I would
they're
love to
not
watch it.
Just action movies and slot. But remember when we were in Puddin' Bay? First off, me and Steve and Davey were fucking blitzed. We were drunk as shit.
I remember that.
And we sat and watched Turtles 1.
Oh,
2,
that's
and 3.
right. They were on. It was just a
The
drunken
original.
stupor of Ninja Turtles.
We were just sitting there drunk watching them, and I'm like,
I
oh,
blacked
this
out.
first Turtles movie is the shit.
It was great, man. We just
And
we
then
just
the second
watched
one
them
came on, and
devolve.
we're laughing our ass off. We're like, this movie is bad.
Yeah.
And then the third one.
Oh.
We're
And
like,
it just got way.
We just watched them get worse and worse and worse.
Because the first one was like ripped from the
more
cartoon.
entertained
It was
by
like
that.
ripped from the
Other than
cartoon. I was sitting there and I'm like,
Everybody
this is Turtles.
It was
Turtles.
This is Turtles.
It was funny. It had good action. It was kind of a little edgy. It was cool.
Oh, you mean the fact they said damn?
Damn and the cursing.
Damn!
You know, you don't think about it at the time.
They did
but-
the cool stuff. They did like the cool iconic things, like the stuff when when they went to go for his head and he popped his head in there.
And
And
that
I was
shit-
like, oh, it's cool. You know,
It's
you
fine.
seeing that, you seeing the
and the first one still kind of holds up as an adult today.
Oh, no,
It's-
I still enjoy that.
Yeah, so-
yeah, that
I
one
still
actually
enjoy
is still
the second
good.
one a little bit. It's really bad, but it's like that cheesy bad.
I was just talking to Wes about this last week. I was like, how did we go from, cool action sequences to hitting dudes with sausages?
Dude. See, that was the problem with the second one. The second one was so campy and not cool. That's what made
They
it
were
really
trying
bad.
to appeal to
The
because-
kids.
the kids
Yeah.
because like I said, you go to the first one. And it was,
They knew the kids
come
were-
on, let's be fucking honest. They crushed Shredder in a fucking garbage truck, okay? He threw him off the roof, and Casey Jones turned on the garbage crush.
Oh,
Oops, oops, and crushed Shredder.
Fucking
Like
Splinter
a
said.
tin
Good old
can.
cheesy 80s, 90s.
Fucking Splinter said
Murder
for
a man,
Splinter's
but
like for when you die. You will
He
die
just murdered a man.
without
I know,
honor.
see, that's the fucked up thing. Casey Jones murdered a man and nobody
He
batted an eye.
he did a murder.
But back
Police
then, you were
officer.
able to mass murder like that, and nobody cared.
I mean, no,
It was
and-
funny.
But wait, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even Splinter.
Let's kill him.
Let's go into it. Even Splinter. Splinter flipped his ass off the roof. Okay, if Casey Jones hadn't turned that on and that truck wasn't there, Shredder fell off the roof. Let's be honest.
Yes.
He fell off a roof.
I got a question. So which Turtles movie was it when Shredder got all big and buff and like
That's
goes
super.
into
That's
snow?
Super Shredder.
That's Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
But
Yeah.
Kevin
That was
Nash
Kevin
played-
Nash.
Kevin Nash is
Played
Super
the Super
Shredder.
Shut up.
Yes, you didn't
No,
know
he
that.
wasn't.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I
Yeah, that was
know. I
big-
never
That was
knew
big
that.
Kevin Nash, brother.
Wait a minute, hold on. Thought process just happened in my head. First movie, fell off a roof, died in a fucking tragic garbage truck dumping accident of 1991. Second movie, Super Shredder comes back.
Yeah.
He dies by wood planks.
Yeah.
That he did himself.
He did it.
Yeah.
what?
He did it himself.
Yeah.
No. None of that makes sense. He got crushed and flattened. I could be like, oh, he's got to be dead. He comes back as a superhuman being. Oh,
And
these
the
wood-
pier
these wood
falls
beams-
on him, and
Oh,
I didn't appear. There's the pier fell on him,
oh, okay.
So man, that was our next topic, Chris. Because we got to move on. We've been long in the tooth on films. That was a great films conversation. I love
That was a
movies.
hell of a way to end
How about
it.
we?
I can,
I don't like Rick Martin.
Okay, let me move on to the topic that we were actually going to initially talk about, but Steve transitioned.
Unfinished gays.
Yeah, Steve was talking about unfinished games. but-
No.
So we're going to actually talk about what we're actually going to talk. Let's move away from films because Steve is gross.
Let's put this train back on the fucking tracks.
So, me and Steve were having this conversation about 2 days ago because WWE 2K18 came out, and it came out on PC first week. It's unprecedented because it's the first time this has happened. And we're playing it. And my PC is pretty beefy for my gaming needs.
Beefy.
And it's running pretty well. There are still some hiccups, and I'm having some stuttering and some issues. And then there's big bugs that piss me off. And I'm just I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna play this game until they fix it. Steve is playing it and can barely play it. And
I had to do some doing, man. I had
this
to.
man, okay, this is where we were I think me and Burr were on Discord. We're like, yo, you can return this game as within, what is it, a month?
It's with under 2 hours of playtime, I think within 14 days.
Steve sat and tried to make the game work for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's the thing. You spent the time trying to get your settings together.
Trying to get it to work.
Then by that time, that's done.
Yeah.
So it's no matter what, he's forced to play. He's forced to keep it on. So, and he still barely works. And we were like, you know what? And Steve was like, yeah, I knew it was coming in bad. I was like, Steve, I knew it was going to come in bad too, but I'm just sick of this shit, man. I'm sick of having games come out that are unfinished, and publishers know they're unfinished. They release them, and they just wait, and they're like, you know what? People are going to buy them regardless because they're mostly complete. They're mostly finished.
And
But
we'll fix
patch
it later.
We'll patch it later.
Let's give it a day one patch.
Not even
a day one. We're talking within the month. We'll fix
Because
it.
WWE didn't even
even
on PC. WWE didn't even get a patch yet. So it's like, what the fuck have you been doing? Where's your QA? How do you think this is okay?
Now, do you think part of that is on us as the gamers because we've become we've developed this culture now where it's like anytime a game is delayed or something or a game doesn't come out as quick as we expect it to, we're pissed. We're all of a sudden developers on the fire and they're like, shit, there's so much pressure.
Developers
on
have
them.
gotten death threats on Twitter because their games get delayed.
Right,
That's
and
insane.
and like I said,
That
because
is
of this
ridiculous.
culture,
Too much.
it's like they're rushing it out, and they feel like, you know what, if we just patch it later, eventually the storm will calm down, we'll be okay.
I think that's not necessarily the case when you think of the gamers. Gamers don't think like that. It's the common people that are spending the 80% that are spending the money on these games.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Those common folk that don't understand, that's what's causing the shitstorm.
Because I like when the games are like, okay, it's getting polished.
Right, I mean,
the majority is the gamers that's buying it. We're the consumers, so I mean,
Because if I play a game and it's like shit out of the gates, I'm like, why didn't they delay it?
Right.
That's my initial reaction. Why
Right.
That's what I said.
Or-
about Marvel versus Capcom Infinite.
Or
They
what
should
they keep
delete
doing.
the
Or what
shit
they
out of
keep
that
doing
game.
with
but we know why they didn't delay it.
There's no money.
which is also why the game is fun.
But see, it also pisses me off what they're doing with games now to this whole thing, because it's like, okay, fine, free DLC is great. I love free DLC. But do not give me half of a game and say I'm going to give you free DLC that completes the game.
If you pre-order this thing.
Yeah, because we were talking about that. It was like, you know what? That's how they got us. Because it was like, for me personally, I wanted WWE at launch because I wanted Rob Van Dam and Batista because I know I'm going to end up buying them later. So I said I want them now for free.
So you can pre-order and get this for free.
Right.
And see, and wait, that's not. But see, that's not the developers.
Game.
These are the stores that are putting this shit out there. These are these stores that are saying pre-order this now, you get it for free. And so because if honestly, we've pretty much all worked in the game store. Mm-hmm. And how many times
I haven't.
But
outside of YouTube.
Okay. But how many times have we seen pre-order now and you get this?
Almost every game.
But 2 months later, we still have copies of that set that still has the
period of bonuses in there.
That pre-order bonus in it, because it's just like
because of the way that they fucking do it.
Right, and
they
it's like
go by numbers and then they still oversend, so it's not like you're getting this guaranteed.
Right, so it's like this. Just be honest. Put it out there.
Guaranteed.
And just put it out there. Just say, okay, fine. When you buy this game, you get this with it because you have the shit packaged with it.
Hell, if y'all want to be honest, look. I used to work at GameStop. I don't care who's listening to it now. And yes, we used to tell you want to reserve this game because you get the free stuff with it. And part of me knew that, there may be extras, and part of me didn't. And we always knew that because they would never tell us if they were going to put it in the case.
There were some
or
games,
the code.
Or they're going to print the code on the receipt.
Yep, and there are some cases where, like nowadays, that at least in GameStop, if you don't print that game, you may actually not get it, depending on what that game is.
Because the revenue for those games is
they are not over-ordering on
all,
games like they used to.
And it all is dependent on that whole thing, because it's like, yes, there are games that are coming out where it's like, for example, Elix. We'll go into that. I kind of want
to buy that.
Do not buy that. I'm just going to go into that right now.
Oh,
don't buy that. Okay.
But I pre-ordered Elix. Why? Because nobody said anything about Elix. It was not being advertised. Nothing was being said. Nobody was talking about
I just kept seeing like the advertisements on Facebook and stuff.
How many came into the store? About 5 copies. More than likely because I pre-ordered one of those copies for them to say, hey, let's send a couple more in the event that this game gets out there. But then don't give me. But that's the thing. It ended up being a shitty game anyway.
Is it really that bad?
The animation was some of it. Okay.
Story
Visually great. It's visually pretty. Voice acting really good. That animation should not have been on there at all for attacking anything, even if it was with a stick.
Oh.
And in 2017, there's no reason why I should have that shitty of an animation in a game right now.
That's disappointing.
But no, I mean that's truthfully what it is. I mean we're part. It's a double-edged sword because we have to support them to get the stuff, but then they feel lenient, and then it's like, okay, so now we're like feeding them, and then we get shit products at launch, and we feel like fuck, like. Even back like several years ago, like when Black Ops 2 first came out, because the Call of Duty hype train was fucking high, and me and Burr were like super on the gravy train for it, and we're like fuck yeah, and the game is good. It was good then, but their servers were bad because they didn't have beta testing at the time because they say why would we do this again? People are just gonna buy it.
Right.
And then it was fucking terrible, and I'll never forget it. Bird bought the $200 edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, with the RC car? Oh, the drone
the
was
drone.
that? The drone?
The drone.
It's this big black. It was the big. What the fuck is this called? Not loot crates. The care package.
Yeah, it was the care package, which was kind of cool. I was like, oh, he gets a care package. That's fucking weird. He had it. And he was like, this is cool. The story was cool. The multiplayer was cool until you try to play online, and you would either get disconnected or not find anybody.
Yeah.
Or it was laggy when you did find people. And we're like, this is. For a game that's making this much money, there's no reason it should be.
Yeah,
I was like with Marvel and Tech and the Ketten. And the Ketten.
I can only call it a Ketten.
And the Ketten.
So I'm gonna explain Marvel, but I'm gonna explain Call of Duty real quick. I'm gonna finish that up and then explain Marvel real quick. With Call of Duty, he had that. He played it. and I think you sold it like the next day.
Within the month.
Within the month. I sold mine the same week.
Or Black Ops 2, right? Because
it didn't work.
Yeah.
I only played multiplayer, and it didn't work. I was like, I can't play the game. I sold it, and I was like, oh, I heard they released a patch, so I rebought it. They didn't fix anything, so I sold it back again. I was like, no, I'm not doing this until they fix this fucking game. But that doesn't mean anything to developers because they already got your money.
Yep.
Now, as Marvel goes, let me explain Marvel's whole fucked situation. Because some people don't know. People just see the surface level and like, that game looks terrible.
And
So,
it does. But go
let me
ahead.
tell you why that game didn't sell well and doesn't look well.
No, Marvel looks fine to me. I'm talking about that server
What server?
for Marvel versus Capcom Infinite.
The online.
Oh, the online is good.
Yeah, when I first started playing, the online was not connecting.
That online was good for me when I first started playing.
It was not. It did not work for me.
Marvel 3 is just fucked.
Okay,
But that's, Marvel Infinite works much better.
No,
But I'm gonna talk about Marvel Infinite real quick. I'm gonna break some shit down to you people that don't know the lore of Marvel Infinite. So Street Fighter V came out, and Street Fighter V was critically panned as a good fighting game that's not having all these features, right? Street Fighter V, I'm just gonna give like a number because I don't actually know the production cost. Let's say they gave Street Fighter V $1 million budget to make this game, right? Okay, so Street Fighter V gets $1 million budget. The game's still not performing, so they say we got to do something. Let's put story mode in there so people can have some single player-ish content to do, and it's gonna be free. But you still got to do the character pass, right? Cool. They do that. Year goes by. Marvel Infinite gets announced. People are like, oh, sweet new Marvel game. That Marvel game got announced at PlayStation Experience 2016.
Mm-hmm.
They started production on that game like 2 or 3 months earlier. They had a budget of like $500,000 in comparison to the $1 million that Street Fighter got.
Yeah,
They literally got half of that budget.
yeah, like these aren't that the
half of
actual
that
budgets,
time.
but
Right.
it just
I'm just saying that they
in
got
relation to
they
if
got
it was
less
that, then it's
than
that.
what that
And
was.
Street Fighter V was in production for like 2 years. So it's like, Jesus, you got half the budget and half the time. And they was like, you guys got to release it by fall. Just do it. And not be, because Marvel was like, we want it to be released by fall. And Capcom was like, I guess we can do it. And then Capcom being so brass and bold, because the Japanese have no quarrel when it comes to sales numbers, we hit 2 million sales.
Which is why probably stuff like why
They said the same thing about Street Fighter V. They always put these numbers that are way too high, that they know that they aren't going to hit. But they're like, hey, if we hit it,
but see, that's probably why stuff like Not a Hero and DLC for Resident Evil even ended up getting delayed.
Well, yes, and that's sort of because the thing about Resident Evil 7 is with Resident Evil 7 in terms of what Capcom's done, that game wasn't even like supposed to be Resident Evil. That was a different game entirely.
Right.
And then they saw it, they liked it, they picked it up, called it Resident Evil. They made a story around it and worked it further into the Resident Evil 7 lore. That's why none of it feels like Resident Evil,
And then
which is a refreshing thing. Don't get me wrong.
It feels like what the Silent Hill would have been.
I will not say that because after watching PT again, I was like, "Holy shit, this game would have been crazy." Just
I would not play that.
I would have loved that.
Just like what would have been Silent Hill.
Nope. Would have been Silent Hill.
Nope.
I would,
bitch, fuck that.
Oh, I would have played that.
But like, it's so weird because Capcom is failing, but I feel like Capcom fails because of Capcom. And with the Marvel thing, they were like, we finally have a big partnership, and then they kind of crushed it a little bit as well because Marvel had some. Imagine if Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite still had more of the Capcom charm and not so much of the Marvel charm. It would have visually looked better. It would have, like, the soundtrack is kind of bland. The character selection screen is kind of bland.
Right.
The only thing that saves that game is literally the gameplay. And from Bert's perspective, who hasn't played it, it looks boring because it doesn't look appealing visually.
Which is sad because Marvel is even going over to Enix now because they have their Avengers game that's getting ready to come out. So
Marvel's pouring their company out.
Yeah, well, it's not really Marvel, it's Disney.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Still, who cares?
Well,
that's what's driving it.
That segment over of Disney.
Yeah, Disney's interactive. They dissolved Disney Interactive Studios because they are getting all these licenses out to experienced developers to make more quality licensed games versus Beanox or fucking
Beanox?
Yeah, who did?
I thought you were gonna say fucking like LJN.
LJ. You know,
like, just bring it back. But no, I mean that's like the little Capcom Marvel thing. That is kind of a problem of the industry as well, because it's not just them that has this problem that with the small budgets and the time frame not being as
and huge numbers I'm gonna hit,
and numbers that like especially for big title games, like these are numbers that they're being told that they have to hit. Like I'm pretty sure Disney is forcing this huge number on Battlefront 2. They're like, you guys are gonna hit like fucking 3 million sales for Battlefront 2. I'm guaranteeing that's what they want. Something ridiculously high that is like people want it because now it's literally the only Star Wars game on the market.
Yeah,
because
it's one of those.
Right. Yeah, because I was gonna say that's that thing that like they're hitting this in movies.
well,
It sucks.
well, it's one of those things where that's why
Battlefront 2, I don't know.
That's why they canceled that damn single player Star Wars game and closed Visceral Games because they
13.
That and
no that there was a new single
Nobody
player
can
Star
make
Wars
single-player
game being
games.
made.
Right, I know that, but I'm talking about, you said the cancel one. You talking about the 13?
No, I'm talking about the one they announced just 2 years
The
ago.
one from Visceral.
Yeah, Amy Hennig who was behind Uncharted and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember
she
that
was
one.
gonna do that
Because
one.
Yeah.
they were like, here's
They
here's
canceled-
Battlefront
so they
2, and
canceled
here's this
3
other
of
Star
them.
Wars game.
So they canceled 3 of them because they canceled Darth Maul, 1313.
This is the
And this
in
one.
recent memory. This is the third
This is
canceled
the
Star
third
Wars
13
game.
was so disappointing. Man.
Yeah, this was the third.
So
one.
this is another
third
one of those things. This is supposed to be a big single player game, but they feel like that single player format wasn't going to hit the sales numbers they wanted to hit,
And it
versus
it
something like a Destiny or another games of service. So they shuttered that, changing directions, and
Because
going
of the
with
whole
this
loot box, and now we get to loot gate.
Oh, God.
again.
That's how it all works because of what you just said. It's like, oh yeah, we're not going to hit our numbers, but you know what will hit our numbers? A multiplayer game where you can buy resources.
No, but see, that's what they're doing stuff in single player now, because in Shadow of War, they have gold that you can. They have
Yeah, they
silver
have
that you can
they
buy.
have loot crates in Shadow
Oh
of
my
War,
God.
but I hear in that
Have
game
loot
you don't
crates and
have.
Injustice.
I hear you don't have to even
That's
touch the
only
loot
single
stuff.
player.
in
You don't
Shadow of War.
you don't have to, but you'll get those people
And it's like single players. Who
who are
cares?
who will buy that stuff though.
Yeah, because that's how that shit works.
You have people that will sit there and look at that and say, "Oh, I don't want this armor, or I want this right now, so I can blaze through this," and they'll put that money into it.
Yep.
I got into the quick loot crate conversation at the event we ran, and my thing about it to them was, well, you got to think about it this way: it's a shitty situation because with inflation, everything needs to go up in price, right? It's been 10 years or more since we've had games go from $50 to $60.
Yeah,
They have
I
not
heard
went
you
up in
talking
price.
about
Yeah.
that, yeah.
They have not went up in price, and they should have. Like games before PS1 were $75.
$70. I mean, Sega games were expensive as fuck.
And so now, and since
Fucking when Revenge came out, they were selling that game for $90.
Yeah, see?
and so now you've got it where production costs aren't getting cheaper. The games are staying the same price. What do you do, right?
You
So
need
it's either raise the price of the games or put in things like loot crates and loot boxes to subsidize the cost to supplement the cost of these games.
And here's the thing, and obviously people are buying them. I was looking at one for Warframe. There's one on there for $200, and I'm like, somebody bought this. Somebody bought this. Friend of mine plays he plays the Star Trek game, since they just brought that to Xbox.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing.
That is the thing. I was talking to him. I was saying like, well, have you paid money into this? He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, how much have you done so far? He's like, oh, I've easily done about over $200. I'm like, what?
Wow.
It's ridiculous. It's like that. It's like that Activision patent.
And this went from free to play.
Should I beg the question, League of God?
Yes, because World of Warcraft and League. How much have you
Warcraft is
actually
different.
done?
Well, League is
Warcraft is different, and
Now,
League is
a platform.
different.
When you
No,
say
because it's a platform, but it's not a.
It's not pay to win though.
It feels like it sometimes.
Yeah. So
when you say how much have I done? What do you
Because I mean,
okay,
'cause
you
Star Trek
have
is
bought your
free, so
game,
it's
okay?
free.
That you have that game.
Mm-hmm.
How much have you stacked on top of what you have purchased
Well, League of Legends
to
is
add
free.
in? Right. Okay.
So
there's
you're always
that.
just stacked.
Their literal profit is microtransactions.
How much have you
smart.
spent in microtransactions?
$1,700.
There you go.
And it's not, but they're not forcing that in a predatory way upon the players. It's
hey, here's the skin. It's this price. If you think it's cool, buy it. And I'm like, okay. It doesn't provide you any sort of tactical advantage in the game.
Because Carlos talks about League a lot too.
Your character looks like Frankie, and I mean that's a plus.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, my character looks fucking cool now. That's freaking sweet. But it doesn't affect how good I am at the game.
But you're good.
And that's and then certain stuff like it. Well, in his Star Trek game, he actually is paying to like buy a new ship, which is giving him new weapons and better equipment and stuff and things like that. There are those games versus I just want to play it for the aesthetic look of it versus play to win.
You know, and like for like World of Warcraft, really the monthly MMOs cost money. So
you're gonna have to pay the fee.
You know, and then of course when expansions come out, those are essentially just another game added on top of the game. So of course that costs money.
Which is what me and Bird were talking about that first time with Destiny. That Destiny 1 made more sense to be a PC game versus being console because
console gamers weren't used to that format of gaming at the time.
Exactly.
I wanted to talk about Destiny 2 and this whole thing too, because when you think about it, it's bringing it back like whose fault is it? It's more of I'm gonna place the blame on Activision with the boom of Call of Duty because marketing is the #1 tool to sell games now. Think about the Destiny budget.
He ran out of RAM. Oh no.
Think about Destiny 1's budget.
Right.
It was like $4 million.
$4 million.
It was insane.
For marketing.
It was huge.
Too much.
$500 million.
See, I mean, look at what all they did and everything, even with apps and stuff that they even put into play before the game even came out.
Oh yeah, they suck you into marketing expecting to get a game that's going to have lore, and you get the game, and all that stuff is broken out.
Because instead of making a quality fucking game, like the rare example, The Witcher 3, that game was literally there is a mutual trust between CD Projekt Red.
I mean,
they are pro-consumer.
Yeah, there's there's a thank you letter in the case. And
CD Projekt needs their dick sucked. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there based upon that because they
by this guy.
I love sucking dick. Let me tell you what.
Wow. And the only reason why
they get a thank you and that's it.
The only reason why I say that is because when you get stuff from CD Projekt, you feel complete. They give you that warm feeling. You feel that they care about the product that they put out because you don't have any questions or problems with it. You didn't hear shit about Witcher. They said, okay, here's this next DLC. Here is $20. We'll give you another almost 40 hours to play.
And they're the kind of developer who not too long ago still remembers being damn near penniless trying to get their first game out.
Right.
They know how important it is to have a relationship.
And then on top of that, they said, hey, here is free, literally, this is free DLC. Not some shit we forgot to put into the game or
I know you've got a full, complete, polished experience, and here's this.
It's like here is character skins. Here is new weapons. Here is new missions, and then with them, like he said, it's a trust that they said we're doing this for you, and you feel like I'm going in there paying, and I got my money's worth now.
That's the way I feel so pissed about like Call of Duty in recent years. I hope it's not the same with World War II, but I kind of have a feeling it will.
It's gonna stay the same until we're somehow able as a consumers and gamers to change that mindset.
Well, no, because for this case, it's never gonna change, and I hate to say that. For Call of Duty, because Bird, this is one of your gripes as well. It's pay to win because you have to gamble on loot boxes to get guns.
Well, yeah, now they're going to introduce that part of it.
People are doing that because you have to get it.
Same with Battlefield. Same with Battlefield.
Or Battlefront.
Battlefield 1 doesn't have it. Battlefield 1 has loot crates.
Yes,
it has it, but you don't need it because they're literally just small tweaks to it. Battlefront, you definitely need it.
Yeah, Battlefront 2.
Battlefront is they forced that on.
But like, I hope that they're realizing because even though Infinite Warfare is not a game I play, I believe they're actually just giving you the guns now. And
they do.
They're giving you tweaks to the gun because they figured out a way to make that system work. I hope that with World War II, they realize that people don't want to have to gamble on guns, and you shouldn't have lied in the first fucking place. Because remember the first thing they said, we'll never add weapons to payable DLC. And what's the first thing they do? They put weapons in DLC.
And like you said, lied.
But like 9.
And like you said, they lied about it because they put that stuff in there and then, like you said, a gamble. Because it was like playing, even like with Destiny, people grind and put hours into Destiny and everything, and it's like, oh, okay, I finally got something cool. You have to pay, and it's like, maybe you'll get something good. Not guaranteed, but maybe you'll get something good.
My problem with Call of Duty is I'm like, I don't think there should be 3 damn publishers, developers, or whatever doing this one single game trying to put it out every year. I think they're just stupid in itself. Like,
I think it's stupid, but you know who doesn't think it's stupid? The people who continually buy it.
Every single year.
That complain about the shit. They will come in there, man, whatever, about this game and everything, and will come and will be in there in the day the store opens, right there, or buying it now digitally.
No, that game is bad. I got Infinite Warfare for free, and guess who deleted that motherfucker? This guy. Yes. Because I wasn't playing it because it's bad.
Yeah, the only way
you should good.
The only way the annualized method will stop is people stop buying the games. That's it.
Yeah, and what is it going to take for that? Because how many people are going to actually sit there and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to play this
It did happen with Assassin's Creed. It got to a point with that series that people couldn't take that anymore. People got fatigued on it, and then Ubisoft said, we'll stop making it for a while.
That is a whole other phenomenon, because Assassin's Creed is primarily a single-player game.
That is true. Yeah. That is
Call of Duty is primarily a multiplayer game.
It's basically a sports game to a lot of people.
If you want to play a game with your friends, you're going to go out and play Call of Duty. For a lot of people...
this is their community.
That's their thing.
This is what they do.
That's their community.
That's why it's going to be so hard. They're talking with money. It's easy to say that, but it's like, it's hard to get everybody to do that.
Because, and this is a lot of people's... Look at what we're doing. This is what we're doing.
Right.
That for a lot of people,
know this.
And for a lot of people, that is what they have. That is that's literally what they have. Is that okay? That next one's gonna come out, and everybody that I'm playing with on this is gonna jump to that next game. And the only way I can do is I have to follow them.
It's the power of I guess friendship.
Of love.
For lack of a better term. Because look what the fuck I did with Diablo 3. I literally got you, Steve, and you, Chris, to buy the game because I'm like, hey, there's this patch. It's a multiplayer game. It's going to be great as fuck. Fucking buy it so I can play it with you guys.
You know what's weird?
I have Destiny 2 on PlayStation 4 because of you guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
same
because mainly.
I wish I had time to play.
Yeah, we gotta get. Yeah,
I look at it all the time like I really want.
We'll get back on it eventually.
And all of you know that mainly I play my Xbox.
Weekends,
but because y'all had it on there, I said, let me play with my friends. I'm gonna go on there with it.
To be fair about Diablo 3, that game is like the prime example of a game that got poor reception on launch, and then it just turned into this golden game.
Oh yeah, it's great now. Right now, it's great now, and they just added that the necromancer stuff into there now.
To be completely honest,
amazing.
I was looking at it like, Steve said he might play it. My persuasion was like, I'll see. And then you were like, it's only $30. I'm like, only 30. Oh yeah, sure. Fine.
Yeah, like it's $30.
My whole response, he was like, "You should play it. I think you may enjoy it." I was
there is a microtransaction in that you have to buy a whole nother character, but you're getting an entire another character to play on top of the game.
Yep. Yeah, that you can go back through that game and actually have a whole new experience.
A lot of people think microtransactions are inherently evil, and I don't think they're bad. I think they just need to be used the right way. How they're used.
There's only one microtransaction gravy that I hate. 2K.
Oh no, that is bad.
Oh, that's
it's bad. It's really bad this year.
But they are never going to stop that because they make far too much money. They will make as much money as the game costs that same day from one person that buys VC in a second.
They'll sell the game for $60 and people will buy $100 worth of VC with it.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was either
maybe Activision. Really trying to push people to get them limited editions.
It may have been Activision that made like $2.2 billion just off of microtransactions.
Remember that one guy that used to come into there was one guy that used to come into the store. He would come in there like every week and he would buy like $10 in VC like every week. Oh, every week. Now that's $10 just every week, just in there, just every week. I'm like, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto shark cards.
Same thing with
that. You can earn
that
money in game just fine.
No, you can't. You have to grind your fucking ass off.
I was gonna say, man,
to how you can just
I was literally about to say, I was like, damn. Sometimes I'm just like,
maybe we should just get a little.
That game is rigged,
fucking us,
but I refuse to.
It's kind of the point of the game, but that game is rigged against people that are trying to earn stuff legitimately. Yeah. Even though the entire concept of the game is to be a criminal.
Right.
Granted, Bird, since you've got a crew here, you'll be pulling in some serious dough.
And it's
Now.
it's nothing.
Yeah, true.
It
Now,
is
that's true.
nothing.
Compared to when somebody can just go out and they can buy
Buy a
say,
couple
"Here,
million and-
I can have a couple, yeah.
Because like all you guys do is help me out on the missions. I put in a lot of fucking work to keep the product stocked, keep the shit from getting raided. Like that, when I do all that by myself. That's why I have so
That's why
much
he's always
time
like,
in
is
the
somebody
game.
gonna hop on?
And then when you guys come on, I'm like, hey, let's go sell this product so I can make this 400,000. Like you guys make 31,000 for doing a 15-minute mission. That's like hours of work for me. And then somebody can just go drop $20 and get 1.2 mil.
Yeah.
That's why I don't give a fuck. I will join a money drop server and just get millions. I don't care, because the fun of me in Grand Theft Auto Online is playing with my friends.
Yeah.
I don't want to be hidden
David
behind
doesn't get
this
that joint.
grind.
Have
You
PC.
look at this point because
Nope.
it's literally just with 2K, Grand Theft Auto, other games like that. Like the
Oh, yeah.
grind,
The
even
money-
Warframe, the grind. They force it down your throat to buy stuff because the grind is so tedious in these games.
And I mean,
Yeah,
you
those
got,
are the
and
ones
then it's
that I
like,
hate.
and they want you to grind and that, and you got people that'll sit there and say, oh yeah, I spent, 10 hours on this and everything. Most people who most normal people do not have that much time
Right now that
to
we,
sit in
we
that.
all working and doing everything, we don't have time to put hours and hours and hours in the games.
Oh, I'm
like
too
we
fucking
used
tired.
To.
I don't want to go. I want to come in. I'm like, I want to go to
Right.
fucking sleep.
That's my one gripe with League of Legends I was talking to you about earlier, is that the free shit that you get in the game, which is namely the champions, the expensive ones, it can take 10 to 15 games plus.
In League is
In
not
League.
is not not
Just
quick
with
game.
one
Yeah,
champion.
that's right. You do need to. You can unlock champions, but most people buy them because of how long it takes.
I bought them when they went on sale with real money, because I'm like, I'm never going to be able to fucking play this game. And I have friends that have played like 3,000 games, and they still had like 6 or 7 champions to unlock.
Yeah, I play Heroes of the Storm because that game is quicker, and that is the reason, because I know how long League matches are, and I was like, I'll play League, and I was kind of getting into it, and I was like, this is taking how much money? I was just like, I only got this one.
That was like when I was playing freaking Paragon, and those matches are not quick. That's not it's not like I can't sit down and say I'm gonna play this before I go to work. No, I have to sit down and I have to say I have time. And then on top of that, having kids and stuff, somebody comes in there, I'm hungry. I can't say this. I'll give me a minute, because it'll be an hour later, and then I didn't feed my kids. So games like that, I understand where you're just like, I ain't got no fucking choice. I gotta drop the money on it just to get what I want or need.
End of the day, fuck them.
No, I'll play some video games.
I just want to play games.
That's
So-
why
I do.
Gonna stick to
Straight
it.
single player. Fuck all this online. Fuck all this shit. We're going back to the golden ages, baby.
Wait, can we just get some couch co-op? Can we just
Bring
get
that
some?
shit
Can
back. Bring that. I miss doing
Davey
that.
had to brother me softly for
I miss that shit.
Bring me some couch co-op.
brother, man.
Brother, softly.
Bring back some couch co-op. Let me have somebody actually come over and hang out, but then give me the option that if I want to, I can play online.
Hey, Bird. You know what system has a lot of couch co-op games?
My dick.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Oh.
And with that note,
Okay, and that's all, folks. Good night.
it's this beautiful thing. It's called a personal computer.
I actually don't like couch co-op games.
I do.
Which is weird, because I love Diablo
a
3.
degree.
And technically, that's a couch
That's
co-op
couch
game.
co-op.
It is.
But you can't play a couch co-op unless you get it on PS4.
That is also true.
I think it's just I don't like playing split screen games because
I can't see the fucking
you
game.
can't see anything on the fucking screen. Like Resident Evil 6. # penis residue.
Yes.
Wow.
There's a
I remember
penis
that.
residue game.
Interesting hashtag.
I remember
on a
that.
scale of
That's
1
old
to
school.
10, the game is penis residue.
That game is so bad it didn't even do split screen right.
No.
Neither did 5
Neither did 5. It was so awkward.
Hated
or
5.
Lost Planet.
Nope. All the Capcom games
I
are
got
very
like
strange.
this of my character
Yeah.
the whole
They
time.
had what's fucked up is they had the right idea, but the worst execution they could possibly do.
Because it was in third
You know-
person. All you saw was
No,
like,
you know what has
No, it's
great?
what they did is they took a whole screen and they just shrunk it and put it in sections, and you had these weird little black boxes next to you.
Lego.
So they just made it small.
Lego
I
games
hated that.
do great split screen.
Because it changes based upon where you are.
Oh, I don't like those either.
But yeah,
I don't like those because as soon as the change happens, I get fucked up.
it does.
It's like oh sweet, it's the weird tank thing from Resident Evil where you're like, oh cool camera. And I'm like, god damn it. And I'm like, literally, I like PC games because the indie game support on there is so strong, very comparative to like PS4 and Xbox One now. But there are so many different and random games that have multiplayer stuff to it that you're playing a bunch of games that like when we were at the event today. People were like, what the fuck is Lethal League? And I was like, well,
Let me tell you something, brother.
Good
I wish we had more time to really.
I think Bird was the only person who knew what the fuck gang
I
was.
was going
I had
to
no
tell.
idea.
I was going to tell you
Lethal
to
League is so
bring
good.
that because I wanted to play that. So the next time that you come over, you bring that shit with you,
That's a whole PC.
and we're gonna hook that shit up in there.
It works on a
Lethal
laptop.
League is fun as shit.
And we're gonna
Bring your laptop.
I don't own the Lethal League.
I do.
Yes,
Look,
you did.
you-
You said you
do I?
bought it.
No, I do have Lethal League. I can bring my laptop.
You took it to an event. You can bring it to my house, and we're gonna hook that shit up in there and play it on that monster in there,
Yeah, I can bring my laptop. It works fine on there.
and you can just
Yeah.
you
I have an HDMI output.
Big
Yeah.
is that TV?
Hey,
Big enough.
you said what?
How big is that TV?
Matt, let me introduce you
like
to the wonderful world of
That one's like a 60. I think the one in the room is
what is
a
it- what are those
65,
called?
and I have like a
HTPCs?
55 upstairs.
Yep.
home theater PCs.
I keep trying to tell people this all the time, Bird, but they're like, no, it costs too much money. It's too big. And I'm like, and then here I come flying in again. Puny console peasants!
For you are weak, and I am mighty.
the hell is that?
You know
We'll
what?
show you later.
Cutie 64 gigs of RAM, peasants. I have 128 gigs of RAM, which makes you weak, and it makes me mighty.
We'll show you later.
Oh my god.
Oh,
just-
yeah, you're a fucking faggot. Well, my dick was bigger last year.
We got
Strangle the both of you.
guys. Oh, we gotta end this gravy train.
Oh, that's.
I can't feel my ass.
I don't care.
Whose fucking fault is that?
Yours.
Why don't you get a soft
Damn right.
Get over here and massage this thing,
I beat that pussy up.
please.
You know why you can't feel it?
Yes.
You know
Because
what?
you just
That-
it
no,
flew
not
over
drawing the
there
line.
when that came out your ass.
SFXXPlay, like the Gilmore Girls, with a lot more vagina.
I just wanted.
I ain't no fucking Gilmore Girls.
I just wanted to find what unfinished gay is.
We'll do it next time.
On
Next,
Giant.
Off the Rails podcast.
Oh my God, Steve!
Who pulled it? Who pulled it? Man, bro.
I gotta take a shit.
We're done.
That's gonna.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. This is the worst outro I've ever had to do, but Steve shit himself.
Like literally.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Like, comment, share, and please send more help for TP.
Sit down. Check out our Facebook page.
Check out the Facebook, check out the Twitter, check out the Twitch. Follow us so we can get your shit. Support the Patreon whenever the fuck we decide to put it up, and go ahead and
We
suck my
stream
balls.
every Friday.
And randomly in the weekdays, whatever we feel like it.
Just what we're asking.
I'm cooking up a City Skylines Let's Play.
And I'm cooking up a.
Steve Sittler.
I'm not. My
Who's
people
cooking
are.
up some
My
fries
people
with
are
those
happy.
ass?
So happy that they're not the top.
Wow, I should have said that when he said he's cooking up some stuff.
Okay, let's end it.
All right.
No.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
9/11 happened.
Oh, good night.